Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports, and welcome to Joshua versus Takam post-fight reaction. Contrary to the belief of many, I wasn't going to do this post-fight video. I was disgusted at the result, and I was on my channel got back to play Football Manager because I don't run BWTM. So the people behind BWTM gave me a very quick nudge and said to me, get back and share your views on the channel, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm going to take this down in stages, and I'm going to break this down in stages, and in the process some people are going to get hurt because it's okay when they're dishing it up, but when they have to take it, they scuttle like the snakes that they are. Okay, let's take this back. Let's go right back. I remember on my Twitter page when Takam was announced as the opponent for Joshua, I said Takam is a good, strong opponent for Takam, for Joshua. His style is all wrong for Anthony Joshua. It's going to be a difficult fight. And I had know-it-alls, experts, people that knew what they were talking about. Takam's 38 years old. Takam's old. Takam's too small. Takam, he got knocked up by Povetkin. I said, he got knocked up by a person using enhancement drugs, PEDS at the time, and he gave Joseph Parker all the work he could ask for. That's Takam, and Takam came into fighting better opposition than Joshua at the time. Don't give me, well, he fought Klitschko. He fought a 41-year-old Klitschko who hadn't been on doing anything for 2 years, inactive. So anyway, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to dissect this bit by bit by bit by bit, and I'm going to take you all apart, every single one of you. Every single one of you getting taken apart. Those who were in the room when I was doing my pre-fight and my post-fight. No, I'm going to do my post-fight. If I do my pre-fight and post-fight, I have a message to you trolls out there, you idiots, you imbeciles, you mindless scum of the earth, lowest form of being out there. Yeah, I'm talking to you all there. You know who you are. Scum. You're low lives and you've got nothing better to do. You are slimy, slippery snakes. But you know what I do with slimy, slippery snakes? I block them. But I've got a message to you. It would help, it would be in your best interest to read the description box before you come into our live audio commentary. I think I might just start calling it BWTM radio, because I think then people will get the message that when we do live commentary, live audio commentary, that means it's audio. Means you're going to listen, and commentary means that somebody's going to speak to you and report to you about what's happening at a live event. Why do you come on the channel and ask me to put up a live stream? And then what are you going to do? I put up the live stream, and then you slithery snakes are going to go back to Sky and tell Sky that I've been live streaming so you can shut my channel down. You are slithery snakes, and you're dumb as well. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know from the get-go. I see you, snakes. I see where you are. The other thing is, why would you come on the channel and tell me about commentary shit and this is that? We've got 350, I think at one point we had 440 people in the room listening to the commentary, and you got these people in the background saying commentary shit, but they can't spell the word commentary, and they can't see why the commentary shit. So what I end up doing is blocking their asses, so they can't even have they don't have the pleasure of even subscribing to the channel, because I've got no time for it. A lot of them are illiterate morons that can't spell, and I don't have a problem with people that cannot spell, but I have a problem with ignorant people that can't spell. I have a problem with that. So this is my rant before I even go on to doing Joshua versus Takam, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm allowing more people to come into the room, because I've got a lot to talk about. So there. So that's that crowd of people dealt with. So let's move on. So, but we know what you are. We know what you're like. You sly, slippery snakes. Well, you tried to get me shut down last year. You tried to get me shut down last year. But what did I do? I came roaring back like the champion I am. And you can't control me now, you pieces of shit. I'm having a word with you lot. You know who you know who you are, and the message is going directly back to you. And you slippery snakes, you who come on my channel and think you're all smart and think you're all great. It's all right, fine. Carry on. But you know what? It is what it is. I run this shit, not you. In the sense that I run this shit, meaning that when I'm on and I'm speaking and I'm doing what I'm doing, it's me that does it. So you may think you can do the job better than me. Instead of saying you can do it, go out there and prove you can do it better than me. Go ahead and do it. I do it by myself. I'm not backed. I'm not backed at the moment. You know, I'm not getting no corporates backing us. We're doing this off our backs, our own backs, and the people that support us and the people in the background. Do you understand? So it's a message to you bums out there that all you do is sit behind keyboards and leave comments. And some of you enjoy it being insulted because that's the only thing you understand. But I have to let it all out and let you imbeciles and non-entities and non-productive people in life who've got nothing to say and do for yourselves but come and abuse people. I'm going to go back to the troll and say to the troll, you're worthless. There's no point of your life. That's what I've got to say to trolls that want to make people's lives unhappy. And you know why I'm being like this is because I know that some of you trolls are the reason why some of the best commentators and some of the best people that have been on the YouTube community have shut their channels down because of trolls. You know who you are. You ain't shutting me down, so you can get lost. And for you haters out there, I got something really good waiting for you. Come the end of the year, I got something really nice waiting for you haters. Really nice for you. That's going to make you burn in hell. So, right, we got that out of the way. Now we've got people in the room. We can start talking. Now, let's talk about the boxing. Let's talk about Joshua versus Takam. But let's even wheel back a bit and wheel and come again. Let's talk about Dillian Whyte a second. Yeah, you know, Dillian Whyte should fight. He should fight Deontay Wilder. I've said again. Tell me a fight where Dillian Whyte has looked spectacular. Another workman-like performance from Dillian Whyte. He looks very good when he's up close. He looks very good when he's at mid-range. But from long range against tall guys, he's got problems. He misses, he's clumsy, and he's missing with big shots. And I actually suspect that the injury that Dillian Whyte had going into the Joshua fight, I suspect he did more damage than he's letting on because he throws that left hook. And how often does he ping somebody with that left hook? More often than not, Dillian Whyte is missing people with that left hook. And I also wonder if he's a world-class heavyweight puncher. Remember, Duhapis knocked out Helenius. Helenius was able to see 12 rounds of Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte was hitting him with a kitchen sink. So I don't know how big a puncher Dillian Whyte is. You know, he's a character. He's a good fighter. Whether he's going to be able to walk through the bombs of a Deontay Wilder, that's another question for another day. But we'll have to see. Nordic Warrior. Bloody hell. He was straight up. That when you call straight up and down, that is what the Nordic Nightmare was. He was a nightmare to watch. I mean, after 6 rounds, I'll think to myself, why are you fighting? Why you even bother fighting? It's like you throw a jab, you walk back to the ropes, you get hit with 4 body shots, you tuck up, you come to the forward, you walk forward, Dillian Whyte takes 2 steps, throws a jab, knocks you back against the ropes, you get hit with more body shots. What was the point of fighting? It was the why even turn up? So it looked like a glorified sparring session. And there's nothing worse than when you're watching a boxing bout than watching 2 guys touch gloves nearly every round. I don't understand what that's all about. I mean, you touch gloves every round when you're sparring. You may touch gloves to start a fight. You may touch gloves at the end of a fight. But you're touching gloves every single round? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway. Right. So I don't know what's going on with Dillian Whyte. But here is my suggestions for Dillian Whyte. My personal opinion. He needs to leave Eddie Hearn. He needs a promoter that's not got Anthony Joshua, that he can be the #1 heavyweight with that promoter, and that promoter can push him further. Because once Eddie's got Anthony Joshua, I think that's his dream ticket, in it. And if you've got a dream ticket, Dillian Whyte's never going to make that sort of money that Joshua's making, I don't think. So not under Eddie Hearn. So I think he needs to go to a rival promoter, maybe go to a Frank Warren, or maybe go with the Sowlands, or maybe go to America. But Dillian Whyte needs to leave Eddie Hearn, and he needs to leave the trainer he's got at the moment, because I think the trainer has taken him to a point I don't think he can take him any further. I think Dillian Whyte needs to work on being able to work longer shots. If he's going to be world class, he needs to work with a world class trainer. I'd like to see him work with somebody like a James Ellerbashir, Ronnie Shields, one of those old school type of trainers. In fact, I wouldn't mind watching him train with Freddie Roach, because he'd be able to work in his attack a bit better. One thing Freddie Roach works on is attack. So I'd like to see Whyte leave Eddie Hearn. I'd like to see him move to either the States and train in the States, or have a European promoter. Sowlands, like I said, would be great to see him with the Sowlands. If not Sowlands, see him in America. No more, or Frank Warren. But I don't want to see it. He needs to move away from Eddie Hearn. It's doing him no favors. So he needs, because I don't really see how Dillian Whyte is improving under this. I think he's reached a level. He needs to go to that next level. Because if Dillian Whyte can't move to the next level, I don't think he's going to be. He may win a world title. He may win a world title on heart and guts. But he's got something missing at the moment. He's got that X factor that's missing. He's doing enough. He's workmanlike, but he needs to be able to get the stoppages. And I think he can get the stoppages, but he needs to improve on his technique. And that means leaving or whatever the trainer is at the moment. So he needs to leave, absolutely leave. So Chisora might be right calling him a spare wheel. I don't know. But Dillian, if you're listening to me and you listen to your channel, I think it's time, mate, for you to make that move, make a clean break 2018. But you might be under contract with her until 2020. I don't know. Make a clean break, go to the Sowlands, make a clean break. Or not even go Sowlands, nothing to connect to Europe. Go to America, join with Al Heyman. I don't know, but just join somebody and El Blue DeBella and get in the mix with the heavyweight division. Heavyweight that people that believe in you, because I don't believe Eddie believes in you. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong there. I'd love to hear what people thought about, what their thoughts are. Don Charles, there might be a problem there because you've got Derek Chisora training, so you may have an issue there. And so Dillian's not a ticket seller, so there's no point leaving Hearn. That's exactly why he's got to leave Eddie Hearn. Because if he leaves Eddie Hearn, he's not a ticket seller. The reason why he's not a ticket seller is because his manager is putting him in shitty fights. Fights that he's not looking good in. He needs to build a momentum. He doesn't need to do that, Eddie Hearn. Think about it logically. If your golden ticket is Anthony Joshua, you don't care about anybody else. Everyone else is like a spare wheel. So he needs to leave Eddie Hearn. So he needs to leave. Anyway, that's my thought on Dillian Whyte. You need to leave, and you need to leave quickly, or you'll end up getting in a fight against a world championship fight ill prepared. That's what I think. I don't think his current trainer can get him any fitter. I don't think his trainer can get him any better, because in the Whyte fight, in the Allen fight, in the Chisora fight, in the Lewison fight, he's done the same thing on all three fights. Missing with big looping right hands, missing with big left hooks, and good on the inside. So he needs to change. He needs to change. Moving on. Joshua versus Takam. Right. Now I'm going to take some of you guys to the cleaners. Absolutely take it to the cleaners. I said about Takam that he's very strong and he's very durable. Now, I had some smart ass in there tell me, oh, Joshua, he can fight on the inside. Well, if he could fight on the inside, what the hell was he doing boxing a guy that was shorter than him, bending his knees, trying to box at the same height as him? What the hell was all that about? What the hell was all that about? That was the first thing. The second thing is, you numbskulls out there, and you are numbskulls, when I say to you, Takam was big enough, people say to me, oh, Takam's not big enough. He's too small. Well, you explain to me why when he was in the clinch with Anthony Joshua, Joshua couldn't move him anywhere. Hercules, 18-stone Hercules, could not move. The 6'6" Hercules could not move Takam anywhere. At no point in time. Did you see Takam and Joshua in the clinches? Did you see Joshua trying to push Takam anywhere? Did you see Joshua bully Takam anywhere? No, he didn't. Did you see what Takam did when he got on the inside? What did Joshua do? He held for dear life. But, of course, people don't listen. People always want to dream. Joshua is a good fighter. Cannot fight on the inside. Cannot fight on the inside. Takam was always a good fighter. He was always durable. You know, he was always tough. You just had to see it. But you had evidence from the Parker fight. You had evidence from the Povetkin fight. But oh no, Joshua's going to blow him away in 3 rounds. Joshua tonight showed you he's limited. He's limited. Now, I had Joshua. I don't know if I had Joshua. Joshua was going to win the fight on points. So as far as I'm concerned, there was no way I thought that Joshua was going to lose the fight on points. So for me, I didn't even bother scoring the fight because I never thought that Takam would win the fight on points. I was looking to Takam to stop Joshua anything between 11 and 12 because I was looking for Takam to come on very late in the fight, which I thought round 10 was where he was about to make his move because he started to get closer to Joshua and starting to land more punches more regularly. So I didn't score the fight, but I saw somebody said that they popped up 117, 111 popped up on the Sky Sports screen before the fight even started. I don't know if that's a mem or not, but if it's true, shame on Sky Sports. Now for me, so Takam was strong enough. This is Takam, remember? Takam, right? This is the same people that said that, oh, Stiverne, if Joshua fought Stiverne, Joshua would knock him out in 2 rounds. Can I remind you all that Joshua, that Stiverne hits harder than Takam? Fact. Fact. And if I'm right, Stiverne won in the World Championships, and he beat Helenius and Price to win the World Championships. But everyone says, oh, you know what? Oh, Stiverne's crap. Oh, yeah, AJ blowing away in a few rounds. Let me tell you something. If AJ leaves his chin out there for someone like Stiverne on a left hook, there's big problems there. I'm telling you. No wonder Stiverne fancied the fight. Tonight, we saw what AJ is. He's big. He's strong. But is he physically strong? That's the question. Because if he couldn't shift Takam, Takam's 6'1" and 16 and a half stone. And he couldn't move Takam anywhere. He hit Takam with his best shots. There's no facts to support that claim. What do you mean there's no facts to support that claim? Did you not watch the damn fight? All TKO wins. Well, that stoppage tonight was not a stoppage. That was not a stoppage. And if anybody in this room agrees that Takam should have been stopped on that stop tonight in round 10, needs their head examining. In fact, do me a favor, unsubscribe from my channel because I don't want to talk any boxing with you. If you can sit down tonight and tell me that Takam should have been stopped in that 10th round, when I look for stoppage, I look at the guy's legs. I look at the guy's eyes. I look to see if the guy's clear. Now, when he got hit with 3 or 4 good shots, okay? Then he's looking back at the referee and looking at his legs. His legs are steady. His legs didn't buckle. He got hit with a couple of shots. He got hit. The same shots he got hit with there, he was getting hit with round 1, 2, and 3. So that's probably one of the worst stoppages this year. I mean, that was a terrible stoppage. You got to ask yourself the question, why did they stop the fight? Why did they stop the fight? What? Gareth A. Davis has already said Takam was unconscious on his feet and the referee made a smart call. Unbelievable. Oh, my God. It's getting unbearable. It's getting absolutely unbearable. Absolutely unbearable. I thought rounds 11 and 12 is where the fight was really going to be at. That's where I felt the fight was going to be, rounds 11 and 12. If you go back and listen to my commentary, go back and listen to my pre-fight on what I said about Takam. So all those guys said, oh, Takam's going to get blown away in 3 rounds. Where are you now? Where are you now that said Takam was going to get blown away in 3 rounds? Where are you? Where are you? I want to know where you are. People said that Takam's going to get blown around. Where are you? I want to know where you. I want to know where you are. And do you know what? Do you know what? There's every potential that that fight could be a rematch between Takam and Joshua. There's every because they could have made the made a bit of controversy. Or the first fight, Takam was stopped prematurely. There should be a rematch. That's not good. I don't think it's going to happen. But it's a good way to sell a pay-per-view an extra pay-per-view to rinse the fans even further. I can tell you now that Takam was a much better. Listen, even the knowledge. My good friend Spencer Fearon said, Takam, he's not getting to points. He's going to get blown away by Joshua inside 6 rounds. This is the knowledge. This is the knowledge. And what was I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying to you guys about Takam? I said if Takam gets Joshua on the back foot and he slips inside the jab and he's not on the outside of the jab and he gets on the inside, he's going to nullify Joshua's punching power. And I said if Takam's on the outside, he's from the outside and stands on the edge of those punches, and the end of the punches, that's where it was going to be a problem. Did I not say it? So it is what it is. It is what it is. I've come to the conclusion that people will listen to Sly Sports and they will listen to the biased commentary, and then they'll come on my channel and come and fight me about it for the biasness. But it's all right. Carry on getting ripped off by Sly Sports. Carry on listening to the garbage that they're talking, and carry on being a fanboy, and carry on not listening to. You're seeing basically Anthony Joshua and his career unravel before our eyes. We're seeing all the warning signs there. We're seeing all the warning signs there. Takam fought a brilliant game plan. Look at what Takam was doing. He studied Joshua to a T. Where did he go? He worked for Joshua's body. All right. When did he throw his punches? He waited until Joshua started throwing his punches, and then what punch did he go to look for? The left hook. What punch did I say that Takam was going to try and throw in the fight? The left hook. What did I say Takam was going to do? He'd get in close. And I said if Joshua hasn't got the power to keep him on the end of the jab, you allow Takam to get on the inside. So you know, I don't know. But God for AJ probably made 100 million already. I think he'll milk this till his first loss. Should have gone the first 12 rounds, but then Matcham couldn't hype his 100% KO ratio and milk the highlight reel. Exactly. Do you know who Takam sort of reminded me of? Levi Billups. In fact, I think Levi Billups is actually better than Takam. Levi Billups. Go and watch when Lennox Lewis fought Levi Billups. That's a good example of who I think fought tonight. And remember, a lot of you people out there will say Takam was a bum. Now, tonight, a bum went 10 rounds and needed a referee to stop him. Right? That's a bum. Takam's a bum, according to some of you experts out there, you keyboard warriors. You so-called experts called Takam a bum. So a bum has gone 10 rounds with Anthony Joshua. That's what you said. I didn't say that. I was fully respective of Takam, right? I was fully respective of Takam. So I said Takam would take the. I said if Takam stayed on the inside, he'd cause problems. He did. A lot of people you say Takam was a bum. I've never had a 6-round scrap. I know. Takam's style is the sort of style that would given Joshua nightmares. And how dare he? Oh my God. How can people say that he would have? Can you imagine if that was Evander Holyfield in there? Can you imagine if that Evander Holyfield in there? When Takam stepped in through 2, Holyfield would have thrown 8 or 9 punches. He would have got in. He would have gone, He would have been throwing 8 punches. And he would have hurt Joshua with a left hook. And he would have, Holyfield would have come up with the uppercut and then let the left hook go and the right hand and the left hook and the uppercut. Man, Holyfield would have been putting, listen, he would have ironed out Joshua. I'm telling you, right? And you think if that's Carlos Takam causing him them sort of problems, and that's Carlos Takam that supposedly had 9 days to prepare. 9 days to prepare, okay? And if you look at certain people's Twitter feeds and you'll watch certain people's videos, they were telling you, Carlos Takam, fight should never happen. Carlos Takam, it's a terrible fight. And I told certain people, Carlos Takam is a better fight than Kubrat Pulev. You don't know what you're talking about. And here we have now this situation. You all better watch out next Saturday night, because I'm telling you now, if Stiverne wasn't if he was dehydrated in that first fight, and he's 100% fit and he's 100% strong, and he nails Deontay Wilder, a lot of people could be crying on Sunday morning. All right, so you gotta start listening to me, people. You gotta start listening to me. What did Holyfield do after 20 fights? Oh my good lord! Evander Holyfield fought. You must be a flipping casual. You must be a casual. Evander Holyfield fought a guy called Dwight Muhammad Qawi in about his 10th fight. He went 15 rounds, you mug. 15 rounds he fought Evander Holyfield. I mean, it must have been, I'm sure it's 15 rounds he did against Dwight Muhammad Qawi that would kill Anthony Joshua. Go and look at the fight between Evander Holyfield and Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Dwight Muhammad Qawi was a killer back then. He would have been like the Mike Tyson of the cruiserweights. At light heavyweight he fought, and he fought Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Go check it out. You absolute plum. Absolute plum. How dare you come in my room talking crap? 15 rounds this guy fought. And you're trying to compare Anthony Joshua with Evander Holyfield. You mug or what? Mate, do me a favour, just unsubscribe to my channel. Chatting absolute crap in my room. How dare you? How dare you? Holyfield at 20 fights. 20 fights Evander Holyfield would have put an ass whooping on. You remember, you look at how Takam was movement. Takam's movement's not bad. Holyfield's movement's better. And Holyfield, when he gets in the pocket, throws more punches than Takam. Jeez, man. Man, how can you turn and say Evander? Oh my God. I can't believe it. Oh dear. Anyway, I think some people like to be abused, I swear. Listen, I've completely lost my patience for casual talk. I really have. And you know, Holyfield has already lost. Excuse me? Evander Holyfield didn't lose his first fight until he fought the great Riddick Bowe. Are you now saying that Joshua would have beaten Riddick Bowe now? Oh my God. Oh my God. Holyfield at 20 fights would give AJ a great fight, yes, but to say both at 20 fights in Holy would win, no problem, is wrong. Oh my God. Oh my sweet Lord. Dwight Muhammad Qawi would kill. Oh my good Lord. Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Yes, and AJ has never lost. Riddick Bowe was a flash in the pan and never seemed speed and moving like AJ. Oh my Lord. Listen, somebody, JJ can't fight in the pocket. He was grabbing for dear life against Takam. A big 6'6". Watch, a big 6'6" man could not control the range. Lennox Lewis would have shown you exactly how to do it. Go and watch Lennox Lewis when he fought Phil Jackson. No, that's not a good fight. Watch Lennox Lewis when he fought David Tua. Big left hook on him. Watch what Lennox did. He got on the jab, boom, 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 jab, right hand, uppercut. Look what Lennox did again. I don't like the Tyson example because Tyson was a lot older. Go look at Lennox when he fought Tua. Short guy, similar sort of style, getting little bushel, try and get inside and cause Lennox problems. Lennox uses his jab, hits Tua right hands and uppercuts, and complete masterclass, shuts him down. That's a masterclass. What we saw tonight with AJ was, I don't know what we saw tonight. Oh, I tell you what, it's casuals. People that are who don't see the light are the ones that ruin it for others. You know, Josh, I'll say this, watch. Joshua's a good kid, and he's a good guy, and he's a good fighter. But he's got some absolute plums as fans. Absolute plums. Honestly. Yeah, and did you see the clip where AJ was blowing so hard in the corner before he was coming out for a round? He's like, and then all of a sudden the glove went. Oh my good lord! I just listen. Lennox would have knocked Carlos Takam out. I tell you what Lennox would have done. He was straightening Takam up with a jab. He was straightening him up with a jab and drive them right hands through. And when Takam came inside, Lennox would have been bending the knees. Lennox was stood up, waiting for Takam to come and catch him with the uppercuts on the inside. Ingram, I'm laughing at those that gave Hearn 20 quid to see Takam get blown out in 2 rounds. They're whimpering in their matchroom brick houses. That's right. That's right. I might go back in my comment section and go and see these people who said that Joshua was going to blow Takam out in 3 rounds. He did the same with Klitschko with the gum shield. Yeah, that's it. That's right. Well, you all know the score, so you know the score. AJ still has the stamina of an amateur fighter, but seriously flawed. Can't fight on the inside. Telegraphs his punches. Can't take a half step. Has awful whiskers. Great Brandon, nice guy. I watched the shit on IG. LOL. I ain't paying 20 quid for that and the undercard. It is what it is. I mean, look, I'm not gonna sit down and slate AJ. It's not. I don't have a problem with AJ per se. I've got a problem with his fans and the delusion. That's what I've got a problem with. AJ was about a stone overweight, and yes, Lewis would KO Takam. That's what I said. I bet round 8. Well, Takam didn't look at any point in time look like he was going to get stopped by AJ. Whyte was awful. Well, he is 6'7", 18 stone 2, and people are expecting not to get tired. Shut the fuck up. You know what? No, you, Connor, shut the fuck up and get out of my room. Get out. Go. Scram. Leave. Don't come back in my room again. Dismissed. Gareth A is a joke for saying Takam was stood up unconscious. How does that work? I don't know. Billy on that nose power again tonight. Gareth A is a prick. Well, I've met the guy myself, so Garrett, just don't. He's a prick. Chris, me and you can meet him together and say it to his face. I think Parker can outwork AJ and Wilder and become unified champion. I'll tell you something. Parker could take them shots that Takam took tonight. He could be as a problem. Look at Tyson Fury, 6'7", 9, and 17 stone. Don't get tired. Exactly. The ref bailed out Joshua for going the distance, as it doesn't look good for the Sky hype machine with a 90% KO ratio. I don't know what he is. I streamed it, but we'll definitely send Takam 20 quid worth of vouchers. I cut off the back of my Cocoa Pops box. Carly, try not to. Don't do any caps locks, please. I want to talk with you tonight, Carly. AJ is a good fighter, but has been fast tracked way too quickly. I think so as well. I think AJ. I think the hype is too much. It's just too much. It's getting unbearable now. You know, AJ's a good fighter, but it's too much of the hype. But he don't do himself any favors. I mean, he did the comment. Was he the post fight? Oh, some people were expecting me to knock him out in a couple of rounds, weren't they? Funny, of course. Where do people think Lucas Brown is now in the mix? I want to see Dillian Whyte fight Lucas Brown next. That's what. AJ did nothing to phase out Deontay Wilder tonight. No. Get Chris Life. I want to hear his take properly. Yeah, I could do that, actually. Let me see if I can do that. I could do that. Chris, mate, I'm going to tweet you. Check inside your DM. I'm going to DM you the link. Just hit the link. Oh, you might not be able to do it because you might not have a Gmail account. If you've got a Gmail account, you should be okay. If you haven't got a Gmail account and you haven't got Hangouts, then you might have a problem. But if you have it, you maybe subscribe to the channel, you should have it. Right. I'm going to send you a link, Chris, in your description box. Can you have a chat with me? I've just added Chris to the room. So people, as for Katie Taylor, I'll say it before and I'll say it again. I was disappointed with an Olympic champion and a world champion boxing so poorly tonight. I thought I would like to see Katie Taylor behind her jab more. I'd like to see him box more. Tonight I saw her just walk forward and take punches, unnecessary punches. And she's a better boxer than that. And I was disappointed. Yes, she won the world title, and yes, fantastic, but very disappointed in her approach. She's another one that needs a trainer as well, a proper trainer. Cows are afraid you'll be taken to school by Ingram. Brown is not a PED user. No, if he's not, why the hell has he been banned on and suspended for so long? Huh? Talk to me. What is he? If he's not a PED user, what is he then? Does Natasha Jonas beat Katie Taylor? I don't know. Mate, I'm not doing that. Sorry. I'd love to, but because of previous experiences over YouTube, I'm not as trusting as I once used to be. I had a couple of idiots coming one evening when I was doing a live show and were very rude. Is that Mr. Mason in the room?
I'm here.
How are we doing, Chris?
I'm really good, mate. Really, really good.
Fantastic. You know what? In the future, we'll probably be able to do live shows as well through video. I've got something lined up that I think you're going to like. I'll reveal it to you probably in about a week or half time from now. I've got something that you're really going to like. So how you been?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. Busy over in Belgium covering the darts for ITV4, but actually took my laptop in the comms box tonight just so I could keep one eye on the boxing and one eye on the dartboard.
Fantastic. John Rawling earlier on tonight said keep him updated, and I did try to keep him updated as much as I can. I made some comments about Katie Taylor and how open she looked when she was fighting, and I had one idiot decide to say I was misogynistic. What? Why?
No, I think she was. I think her game plan was all wrong. I think because she hurt the girl early on, she thought she was just going to blow her out. But she was very easy to hit tonight. She seemed to just sort of switch off and want to stand and trade, and you know that's all very well. On this occasion, she got away with it. But she has such good boxing skills. I was amazed that she allowed herself to, and her corner allowed her to get drawn into a real like sort of trade off. I mean, there was no debate that she won the fight comfortably, but it was just unusual to see her get embroiled in just sort of like trying to just trade off.
I have to be honest with you, Chris. I've watched Katie Taylor a while and I've not been impressed simply because what I've seen of Katie Taylor is every fight her getting hit with clean shots, and tonight just highlighted it even further because she was fighting a much better opponent. That's what the case was. See, before she was getting away with it with lesser opponents. Now she stepped up and fought a girl of a lot better level who could punch a little bit. And that's why you saw it looked so bad, because she was actually she wasn't getting away with what she was getting away with in the past, because Katie Taylor's always been one in her fights to get tagged with big shots. But before the girls couldn't punch. This Sanchez had a bit of a punch on her.
Yeah, she was nails. I mean, she was real tough girl, and I mean it was an entertaining fight. But as you know, if you're going to have longevity in this game, the last thing you want to do is start just becoming somebody that wants to sit and trade. We loved Gatti and Ward, but God bless them both. That's not the ideal way to fight, especially when you have them skills, and she does have them skills, but
exactly
she just seems to want to get really involved all the time, and it although it's exciting, first and foremost, she's going to start running out of opponents. I know they're looking to get her matched up with Natasha Jonas and at some point. But yeah, she does seem. I mean, it's exciting, but she does seem to get. And it's not just sort of. She walks into real clean, straight punches, which is something really for a really highly schooled fighter that she should be able to avoid. And as you're right, that girl was a good opponent. But you have to think if she actually finds someone who can match her for output and power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be a tough night for her.
You see, Chris, the other thing is, I think she actually needs a proper trainer. No disrespect.
Yeah,
to guys,
absolutely.
you know, she needs a proper trainer. She needs a trainer that's going to make her keep her hands up, distance and timing, use the jab, when to throw shots, when to engage, when to tie up. Because she was taking some big shots, and there's a couple of times I thought the girl buzzed her quite badly, but the girl didn't follow up on Katie.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
I think she's gone. I think her amateur style, and I know this is hard to say because we know that more often than not that amateur style doesn't suit the pro game. But I actually preferred her when she fought as an amateur rather than now as a pro.
Is there an argument that Katie Taylor could be on the slide? Because she's 32 now?
Yeah, she's had a seriously long career. Well, was she did she play? She played football, didn't she? Before she,
I don't know. She may have.
Yeah,
she may have done.
I'm pretty sure she played football at a real high level.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 32 is old for a boxer. Obviously, we don't have that much, information on female boxing and how a woman's body reacts to all those training camps. But
It's
she's without doubt a fabulous fighter. But I agree. I'd like to see her a little bit. I'd like to see her with someone who could adapt her style probably a little bit further and just literally take her to her absolute peak.
Yes.
And see what they could do with her.
Absolutely. My apologies early on, Chris. I had to let some people know exactly how I felt about their behavior. It's absolutely disgusting when they come in the room and they leave disgusting comments, and it's appalling. And then the other thing is they ask me to put a stream on when it's an audio commentary. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, mate.
So I had to let rip tonight. So my apologies if I may have offended, but it had to be said. I was speaking specifically to a certain group of people. So let's talk about Dillian Whyte versus Robert Helenius. Did you see that?
Yeah, I watched the whole fight. My God, listen, I don't hate on Dillian, but he literally he's rated on a dubious win over Chisora, right, and wobbling AJ, right. Now I don't hate on AJ either, right. He's a great poster boy. He's a great advert. He's a lovely guy. I love the fact that he's turned his whole life around. Mums and dads and kids look up to him, and it's great. It's great, but he is no Muhammad Ali, right? He is no Lennox Lewis. He's no Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno must be watching that and thinking, my God, Frank Bruno would absolutely rinse AJ, right? And he was no Muhammad Ali himself, right? Listen, it's great branding. Eddie Hearn's done a great job with him. People seem to have a short memory of the fact he was gifted that fucking gold medal. It's not. This guy isn't I just don't get it. And every time you watch him, someone said to me, someone tweeted me earlier, right? You said, no, not very long ago, it was 50-50 versus Wilder, right? Well, the reason is I changed my mind is we're getting to see more and more of AJ. He's getting more and more exposed. Takam, as we suggested, right? We know AJ can't operate inside, right? Casuals obviously don't understand that, we don't just sort of we haven't been watching boxing 5 minutes. We haven't been watching boxing since the Olympics. We've both been in the ring, we both box, we both understand it.
Absolutely.
A load of time in gyms. We can see them flaws, and it's only a matter of time. I keep saying to everybody, the first real genuine guy that he faces who will stand there and trade with him knocks him out. Because we know he's been over in sparring, he's been over in... Listen, if you get put over as an amateur with 16-ounce gloves and head guards on, you're done. You're done, because the higher level opponent you face, it was like McGregor against Mayweather, right? Everyone's going, oh my God, McGregor's a beast, he'll knock him out. The punches that you learn to hold as a boxer, right? Them MMA guys, as good as they are and as good as what they do, and yeah, if a boxer went into an MMA ring, he would get rinsed because they're boxers. They're not, they don't do judo or jiu-jitsu and, choking out and all that kind of stuff. Totally different sport. But the power in MMA will not transfer across into boxing. Boxers, even guys that don't listen, someone like Peter McDonough, right, would knock people out in MMA fighters at his own weight, and he's not classed as a big puncher. But as soon as AJ faces a real, genuine, live banger who can hold a shot, he gets rinsed. It's over. This hype train is over.
But we're seeing it. We're seeing him unravel every single fight.
Absolutely. But we're hating. We don't listen. There's nothing to hate about the guy. He's an absolute lovely guy, and he's it's great for boxing. There's more people watching boxing. The problem is there's more and more people have an opinion on the fight game that know absolutely fuck all about it. Listen, I don't talk about chemistry or physics, right? I don't know anything about it. I've never been in a laboratory, right? So I refrain from commenting on stuff that I don't know anything about. And it's not hate. It's not. I'm not bitter. Fair play to the guy. He's turned a life around. He's making a great life for his family. He does loads for charity. He's a great example of especially the community he comes from and the trouble. He's a great example. You can turn your life around. Yes. And he has done that. But please, I mean, people comparing him to Lennox Lewis, really? I mean, oh my God. I mean, it just blows my mind.
We saw what Lennox can do. We saw what Lennox fought when he fought David Tua, and I'd say David Tua is much more dangerous than Carlos Takam.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Could you imagine what Tua would have done to Takam?
Oh, Jesus. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
He'd have punched holes in him. I mean, the guy is, Takam, seriously basic fighter. I mean, he's got a little bit of peekaboo style. He's got reasonably, a bit of decent speed.
Imagine what Bruno would have done to Takam.
Oh, well. I mean, and don't get me wrong, right? Where's all these people that go in that, AJ was going to rinse this guy in a round? Or he's going to rinse him in 2 rounds. Where are they gone?
We won't see them tonight. And where's the guy who had plenty to say about AJ's a great fight. He's a better fighter on the inside than he's on the outside. Where are you tonight, mate? Where are you?
He cannot fight on the inside. He has no inside boxing skills because he doesn't know how to make that space. He doesn't have a half a step to, give him room to work. His levers are a little bit too long anyway. He's a huge guy, but he doesn't have that style. He has to rely on people, and Takam in round 1 and round 2 really played a dangerous game because he was exactly in the range to get knocked out because he just stayed on the outside, which is where AJ is dangerous. Listen, the kid can bang. He's an absolute monster of a man, huge, powerful, strong man. But as soon as he, we're talking about Takam, right? Who's he's not like an elite fighter. As soon as he worked out that as if he breached that small gap and started to work him over on the inside and realized that AJ couldn't do anything when he was that close, he started to have success. And if he could punch.
When Takam was on the outside, I thought at first maybe it was dangerous for him, but I noticed what he was doing. What his game plan was perfect. What he was waiting for AJ to do was for him to engage. And as AJ was engaging, that's when he was throwing the left hook. And then when he was getting close, he was working AJ's body. See, he'd worked out AJ's weaknesses are to his body, and when AJ's attacking, that's when he's most vulnerable because that's where he can get caught with the left hook.
Exactly. As soon as AJ threw that jab, which is quite a slow. He tends to leave it out there a little bit. As soon as he sort of stepped under that or inside that, and then engaged, AJ was lost. AJ was like a lost soul in there for the majority of those exchanges because he doesn't, and that's not his fault. Some guys are technically gifted or they're physically gifted that they can trade, and they just understand that little bit of you know, like someone like Golovkin who understands distance control. You know, and there's a lot of guys that love boxing and watch, but they don't understand the importance of distance control.
See, when you talk about AJ having a great jab, well, the way you know if a guy's got a great jab is when he can pull that jab out and shut a man down. I didn't see him shut Takam down at all.
No, go look at Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes' jab was a weapon. It was a finder, and it was a weapon.
Right. Your jab is the jab. You can use the jab to defend and attack. Use the jab to keep a guy off you, and you can use the jab to open up opportunities. Well, open the door. You close the door with the jab. You can open the door with the jab. You know, and you know, you got the jab. You can put your right hand behind it. You use your jab. You can throw your left hook off your jab. There's so many things you can do with the jab. You make space to come forward. You get space to get back. You can get yourself out of a tight spot with a jab. You step out the side of the door instead of going straight back. There are lots of things you can do with the jab, but I don't see that with AJ. I just see a jab. I mean, some of the times he's throwing the jab, he was jabbing. I couldn't understand why he was jabbing a guy that was 6'1" to his stomach.
Exactly. You know, it's that whole. He still hasn't. For me, he still has that style of an amateur. You know, he keeps sort of. It's almost like a default mode. And if you think about McCracken, he works with he works in the, you know, with all the Olympians and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that a man of that size with that much power, that jab should be thrown stiff. Really, yeah. It could literally dictate the whole pace of a fight off of that jab. He would never get backed up. He could dominate. He could maneuver his opponent into a position off of a stiff jab. And he doesn't have a stiff jab. He leaves it out there a lot of the time.
He does. Shout out to my man, Truth and Facts Boxing, Bo. Check him out. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel. Bo, hope you're well, my friend. This is Chris Mason in the room. He's from the world of boxing and darts. So Chris meet Bo, Bo meet Chris.
I'll hit him up.
Absolutely. I've just sent you, by the way, Bo, a link to the channel. So if you want to jump in the room, you can do as well. So Chris, what happens now? Let's talk about a stoppage.
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of British refs. They're the best of times, but I mean that was bordering on the line of corruption. I mean he threw 3 punches. One of them sort of half landed. The other 2 didn't really do anything, and he rushes in. And I'm always a great believer. Look at the reaction of, you know, you see some stoppages sometimes that we think is, you know, dubious, right? Always look at the reaction of the fighter. He was fuming. Exactly. He was like, "What are you doing?
Look at his legs. Look at his legs. Solid."
Yeah, but there was no reason to let that guy see out the 12 rounds, and he would have seen out the 12 rounds. And who knows what he could have done?
Exactly.
AJ was gassing after 5 or 6. He was blowing. His mouth was open. You know, he was starting to run out of ideas. You know, that's the championships rounds. This is for the heavyweight championship of the world. You know, you can't deny the guy, 1, the honor of seeing out a 12-round fight, 2, the chance to win a fight. You know, he can't stop it on cuts. That can only stop by the doctor. The doctor came in a couple of times, looked at him, let him go. That was utter bullshit. And that you know, not only was it, you know, not the greatest card in the world as it was, you know, you got to give these people who are paying money value for money. You know, I want to see a guy get knocked out. If that's the way it is, it's a fight. This isn't a tickling contest. This is a fight. That's why we watch it. You know, and it's for the championship of the world, the heavyweight. You know, this is the creme de la creme.
Absolutely correct there, Chris. Have a word with your mate Eddie and your mate Barry. You have a word with both of them. Barry Hearn, according to what people say in his room, he said that the fight should have been stopped earlier.
Yeah, and it's hard for me because, you know, like Barry and Eddie are two people I know well and I class as friends, but
just have a word.
We don't talk boxing because, you know, I just can't. I can't go there with him because, you know, listen, they're his brand, right? They're you know, they're only doing their job. you know, but sometimes for someone who has so much knowledge and experience of the fight game, you know, I'm shocked sometimes with what Barry says. I mean, there's no way that guy was never. He went down, he took a knee, and that was more. It wasn't even a flash knockdown. He just sort of he got squared up. His feet were together. He went down. He got up. There was absolutely nothing wrong with him. The cuts were clash of heads because he was trying to bore in a little bit at times. But that guy was never in any trouble. You know, we're not talking about a guy that's took a beating. You know, he was fine. They were talking afterwards. And like I said, you always look at not just a fighter who's been stopped. You look at AJ's reaction. He didn't feel like he, you know, it's just. And if you know the fight game, listen, it's great that so many people are watching boxing, right? It's great that so many people are they're paying to go and watch it live. I mean, that's magical. We love this sport. You know, this is a passion of ours. And maybe we know a little bit more about it than most because we've done it and we've been involved in it. We spent time in gyms. We spent time with fighters. Some of our friends have been great fighters. You know, Joe Kawasaki's a really good friend of mine. You know, I've followed him around for 20 years, you know, amateur and pro.
Hold on. You're a great friend of Joe Kawasaki?
Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine.
Right.
You know,
you could work it out for me and Joe to get an interview. Work it out for me and Joe to get.
Yeah, of course I will, mate. I'll look him up next week and see if we can get that done.
Wow. I've got something to tell you, but I'll have to see you off the camera afterwards. I can't tell you now. I'll let you know afterwards when obviously when this is over, I'll talk to you more about things. Yeah. So the stoppage, Bazza telling everyone that the fight should have been stopped earlier. Eddie, I mean, I like Anthony Joshua's. He could work for Prime Minister, you know, Anthony Joshua, because he's very diplomatic. They ask him the question, "What do you think of the stoppage?" Well, you know, it's not my job to get involved with the referee. You know, my job is to focus, you know, on the opponent, and that's a real good cop out to say it's really a shit stoppage. But I'm not going to say anything. At the end of the day, I was blowing at my ass, but I'm not going to say that because that ain't what to say. So then better I'll just say, yeah, I'm just going to focus on the opponent. Don't get me involved in your bullshit. I'm just working on the opponent. What you do outside of me has got nothing to do with me. But he knows it was a bullshit stoppage. He knows it was a bullshit stoppage. Of course he knows that.
So does Eddie. So does Eddie. So does Barry. So does Adam Smith. I mean, that guy is absolutely stealing living. You can write what he knows about actual boxing on the back of a fucking 1-penny stamp. Him and
Froch were like a bunch of novices tonight. I'm listening to them talk about Katie Taylor. And not once are they saying Katie Taylor needs to tighten up on her defense. But, you know, they always talk about how Sanchez is getting hit with a body shot and Sanchez is getting caught with a right hand. They're not talking, at no point in time did they say, Katie Taylor, why is she not getting behind the jab? Katie Taylor, why is she taking thrust punches? Katie Taylor, why is the trainer not telling her to tuck up and be tight and be sensible and be smart? Not one point in the time in the commentary did they mention that.
Yeah, Sky are just seriously agenda driven, and they're no different with darts, mate. To be honest, they're very they won't touch on the controversial. They won't touch on things that go against the grain, right? I'm not controversial for a reaction. I just listen. I've always been brought up. Just tell the truth. Just speak as you find. I've got no media background or media training. I'm passionate about the sports I love. Right? Just tell the truth. Don't bullshit people. Just tell them the facts.
Absolutely. You got to. Ricker Hakkinen fan says, "Can you tell your mate Eddie to bump Adam Smith off the commentary team?"
Yeah, he is brutal, right? And I'm surprised, right? I'm shocked by the boxers that actually conform. You know, Glenn McCorry doesn't work for Sky anymore for a reason, because he bucked the trend. You know, he would actually tell you the facts, and they don't like that shit. They don't. For some reason they think, well, they appeal to casuals, right? They appeal to people that don't know any better because they're the ones that will pay £17, £20, £25 to watch a load of bullshit, right? You know, that, and that's their audience, right? You know, and it's sad. It's sad because we then get labelled as like, listen, a load of my mates work for Sky, right? Do you think I'm jealous? It's not a jealousy thing. I don't care. Good luck to them. I'm happy for them. I'm pleased for them. I hope they make 10 times more money than me, right? But I sleep at night. You know, I don't have to fucking think about, oh my God, I can't believe I went along with that shit, because the people who know me and work with me knows I won't have any of it. You know, and I won't have any. If I'm doing a darts coverage and someone goes and they underperform, I'm not going to make some kind of bullshit excuse that they didn't do this or they didn't do that. I'm going to tell the facts. I don't think he tried tonight. I don't think he prepared right. And that's what people at home, for me, the feedback I get, people love that because they know they're being told the truth. There's no kidology. There's no, you know, I'm not trying to pull the wool over their eyes. Listen, if I can't tell the truth about something I'm meant to know about, then we're all lost.
Well, to be honest, I hope Sky keep going on for the next couple of years, and we can keep taking money off of Sky by just doing these commentary nights. Because tonight we had 15,000 viewers, 15,000 views after the commentary for Joshua versus Takam. So that's quite good. We'll be looking to get more views after that, but that's quite nice. 15,000 views. We've got in the room with us tonight Bo Bland from Truth and Facts Boxing. He's in the room all the way from the States. Bo, how are you?
I'm all right, man. What's going on with you, man?
It's been a long time, my friend.
Yeah, you know, work, teenager, work, teenager.
Bo, Chris McBo.
How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing good, man. I like how you talking, man.
Well, I just listen. It's just straight up, no BS. It's life's too short for bullshit.
I hear you.
Can you give me the American's perspective of Joshua versus Takam and about the stoppage?
Oh, everybody feels like that stoppage was, not only was it early, a lot of people feel like it was premeditated, because from the moment Takam got cut, the ref, for some odd reason, even interrupted the action to take Takam over to talk to the doctor. And it's like, there was no blood in his eye. It was no call for it. And he did it a couple times. So a lot of people feel like, you know, he was just eager to stop that fight. And he took in a moment that was, it was such a, see, it's a bad one, because of course you're going to have people pin this on Joshua, and it's not his fault, but it was bad because you actually saw Takam. Yes, he got hit, but then he dodged the second punch. So you actually saw Takam starting to seem like he was making a move to come back. Somebody mentioned earlier, Joshua, and I said this, around about the 5th round, I saw Joshua breathing out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay, you're breathing out of your mouth. Why are you breathing out? And then there were times when the bell would ring, you would see him as he walked back. He was slowly walking back to the corner. It was a slow walk back to the corner. He would take that as he was going back to the corner. So I'm like, okay, this is maybe this is starting to bother him, maybe it isn't. So it was a very bad stoppage, in the sense that this guy still had some fight in him, and he got hit with a shot, missed the next one, and he might have would have been coming back with something, but we don't know. So, you know, the American view of it is, listen, it was a bad stoppage. It's hard now I'm not going to criticize his performance extremely harshly, because it's hard to look good against Takam because of that style. But what I didn't like was, you guys said something. You said, why was he jabbing at the pit of his stomach? Okay. When he did it the first time, I thought, okay, maybe this is smart, because he probably tried to catch him and come over with something. But then when he did it a few more times, and he was actually getting caught, I'm like, okay, maybe you should stop doing it now, because you're harming yourself, right? Then I didn't like, he had a strong jab at first, but you can definitely tell, and maybe I'm reaching, but to me, you can tell that the weight was a problem, because he wasn't stepping into the jab like he was in the beginning of the fight, around like he was between the 6th and the 10th round. He was no longer stepping into that jab. He was just kind of just throwing it out there. Even when he threw a right hand one time, he just kind of threw it out there. And I'm like, is the weight getting to him to the point where he can't move his legs forward to put him in position he wanted to be in? Luckily, Takam was coming. Go ahead.
You know what that is? That's because them body shots that Takam was ripping in. That's what it was. Them left and right hands to the body and into the midriff. that Takam was landing on those exchanges, they were softening up Joshua. Joshua don't like body shots. I don't know who does, but he don't like body shots.
Yeah, but I think the stoppage took away from what probably could have been considered down the stretch as a good fight. And it's sad because we're seeing bad stoppages, we're seeing bad decisions, and it's taken away from what we're looking at, because these are fighters. They know what they signed up for. All right.
True.
And you know, this is what irks me and what pisses me off is a guy, because Takam, unlike Pulev, wanted this fight. He followed Joshua. I remember when Joshua beat Brazili, he actually said something like, "Yo, okay, I want this dude." He really wanted him. So a guy trains weeks and weeks. He gets an opportunity. You got to give him the damn chance to prove that, you know what I'm saying, he deserves to be here, or at least give him the chance to make him feel. See, I don't think these refs understand what you go through in training camp, the amount of money, the amount of time away from your family, the energy you put in there, only for you to stop it because you don't like something you saw when clearly I'm not hurt. It's different. If I'm hurt, fine, but I'm clearly not hurt, and you stop it.
Listen.
The fighter got robbed of the chance to win the biggest prize in sport. The fans got robbed of the ending to a fight that we wanted to see. It could have got interesting. AJ was blowing out of his ass. That guy was blown. Listen, there's a reason that Olympic, marathon runners look a certain way, right? That guy is so big. He's so muscular, and he was struggling in there. There was no way he was like, I wanted to see another 6, the other 8 minutes, whatever was remaining. And as you say, the money, the time that Takam put in to prepare for this fight, he deserved that, and so did the fans.
Well, hold on. Before you even talk about the fans and you got to think about the sponsors. You got to think about Westfield. You got to think about the water company that now Joshua sponsors. The links he's got as well. Joshua is on nearly everything. He has got sponsors for all sorts of things. Probably underpants he's got sponsorship for as well. So Joshua is just a brand now. So that brand was in jeopardy of losing a lot of money had Takam caused the upset. If he'd gone into round 11 and 12, if there were whispers and Joshua saying, you know what, I ain't making 12 rounds. If there were whispers of that and McCracken got a word of that and Kraken could say, hey, this guy's not going to do 12 rounds. He's blowing out of his ass. Whenever there's an opportunity to stop this fight, stop it. And the word's been said, then, hey, you don't know. You really don't know. But what I do know is that Takam's agenda is not the agenda of the wider audience that are money makers.
Right? But you know what else they were talking about over here in America? They were showing the judges' scorecard for a 12-round fight.
Yeah, they did that over here. They did the same thing already.
I'm like, wait a minute, the scorecard for a 12-round fight?
Before they came to the ring. Chris, you want to say something?
Could you imagine if that was a small hall show and a fight like that got stopped? There would be riots.
There'd be riots. Oh my God.
There would be riots. You can't, and this is meant to be the pinnacle of boxing, right? You can't hold up a fighter who's not in trouble. He wasn't distressed. And like I said, you just look at Takam's reaction. That's all you need to know. Anytime there's a stoppage in a fight, if a guy just drops his head and walks away with no complaint, you know that's a good stoppage. That was a really, really poor stoppage, and it again further it just increases the hype machine. You only got to look on Twitter. Oh, AJ was great. He stopped him. I told you he'd stop him. No. You told me he'd blow him out in a round.
Well, we had last week we saw, or week before we saw Ian Lewson get stopped by 3 towels. He came to the ring. Ian Lewson came to the ring with a towel over his head. He had a towel holding up his waist, right? And I don't know where the other 3 towels came in from Don Charles that stopped Ian Lewson last week or week before. And that was, and even that was it was just a depressing fight to watch. This week we're now watching a poor stoppage again. Where are we going with boxing? Where are we going?
We need, the problem is now, and it ain't AJ's fault, right? I like AJ, right? I'm not hating on this guy. I like him. He's we've had a great run in British boxing with Tyson, and over the years we've had Lennox and heavyweight and Frank, right? I'm not hating on this guy, right? The reason the problem stems from everybody else's hype, right? which is fine, right? That's okay. But then don't kid the public. These are pay-per-view fights, right? It's not like back in the old days, and Bo probably remembers, like, you know, all the boxing was free. Everybody could just watch it for free. You know,
Wild World of Sports.
Yes.
Wild World of Sports. Marv Albert, Howard Cosell, they were commentators. I remember. I go back that far.
Yeah, right. You got to work because they box for free, right? You know, these were guys that would stand up. You know, they would be getting holes punched in them, and they'd be going 15 rounds, right? And there'd be nobody saving anybody or protecting someone's record. You know, all right, we had some hold up real bad shitty decisions back in the day, but that's because the mafia were involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is gone now. We're in a modern era of sport should be fair.
I'm gonna say something now. I'm gonna add something. Blood boxing, brother. How you doing? Hope you're well. Listen, let me put something here. I'm gonna say something to a lot of people. Are gonna be pissed off with me. If next weekend the fight doesn't go in Deontay Wilder's favor, and for whatever reason it don't go in his favor, I am not going to be surprised if then Stiverne afterwards is considered to be a drug cheat. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Listen,
because,
right? How does someone of that size put on 24 pounds of muscle in 2 years, right?
Did you see when he had his first fight? His first fight as a pro, he looked like he was anorexic. Now he looks like Hercules.
I mean, his back, right? I've met him loads of times, right? Guy is lovely. I've got a picture. I'll send you it. And I ain't no small guy, right? I'm nearly 6 foot. I'm like 190 odd pound. He makes me look like I'm like a tiny little boy. I mean, this guy is so big, it's insane.
You think about his fight with I think it was who was it? Dominic Breazelli.
Mm-hmm.
That was just before he fought Klitschko. In that fight, he only weighed 235, I believe, or 230.
Yeah.
So he went, like you said, he went in the course. So he went from 235, 230 to 250. That was just the next fight with Vladimir after Breazelli.
Yeah. Where'd you get that bulk from?
Yeah. Then this one he went 54. He claims he worked more on cardio. Well, if you work more on cardio, you don't gain 4 pounds if you work more on cardio.
You lose muscle.
He's trying to.
No, it's the fucking rice.
Did you hear when he said, well, maybe my body's just filling out at 28?
No, it's the fufu and rice, the Nigerian fufu and rice. You didn't know about that? It's
chicken, rice, and peas. Chicken, rice, and peas.
Rice and peas and chicken and stew dumpling. That's what it is.
Jerk chicken.
If you believe that, then I'm Santa Claus. There's something going on there.
Yeah, man. I'm not having. Listen. The guy is a specimen of a human being, right? But putting on 20 odd pound of bulk at 26, 27 years of age, and his body fat percentage must be tiny because there's no fat on the man.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think it's growth hormones? Is it PEDs? What is it?
Well, we're opening ourselves up for a whole heap of liable, right? But listen, I don't know. Maybe he's a genetic freak, right? I mean, these big guys are. But you look at, for example, right? You look at someone like Dominic Breazeale, right? He came from a basketball background. What was he, like 6'7", 6'8"? You look at Valuev. I mean, he was a giant of a man, but I mean, what did he weigh? I mean, what, 300 and something pound? He had bulk about him, but you can't weigh that much and have that much muscle. It's just listen, I go gym all the time, right? I train with some seriously big guys, right? And they're enormous for a reason, because your body genetically cannot, you just look at the world's strongest man, right? Look at that Eddie Hall guy. He lifts like over half a ton or something. It's fucking insane. And someone said to me, "Oh yeah, he's clean." I'm like, the physical, the human beings, we've not advanced that much. I'm in Belgium right now, right? And there's a load of German people, right? They're great big guys, right? They're big humans. Their genetic race is big, but they don't look. They're all. I think the average height over here is something like 6 foot or something. But you know, most guys are walking around at 6'4", 6'5", but they're not big, if you know what I mean. They're just tall.
I don't know. We're not going to find out about AJ until he crosses a line and does something that his superiors don't like. Then maybe.
And he's bigger than the sport, right? He's bigger than the sport. Like they've hung Tyson Fury out to dry, right? Now, if Tyson Fury, right, wherever he's getting his PEDS from, they're selling him short, right? Because he ain't got a body like a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? He's not even a big guy, right? I was sat with Tyson ringside.
Oh, wow.
That guy's not even a big guy. He's just tall. He is not a big guy. He's not wide. He's not thick. He's just a big guy. And the treatment that he's had, and trust me, right, that man absolutely takes AJ to school. A fit Tyson Fury absolutely takes Joshua to school.
I agree with
period.
that.
Well, you saw the footwork tonight. You know, the thing that a lot of people weren't aware of, the reason why Takam was so good and didn't get hit so clean with shots, because of the footwork. He was going in and out. He's moving to the sides. He was not giving Joshua a stationary target. And that was a problem for Joshua tonight.
Joshua can't take half a step. Right, McCracken's a great trainer, right? McCracken's a decent fighter. Let's not forget that, right? He doesn't know how to take half a step. He doesn't have any distance control. Everything is straight lines. He can't step around. You watch like a real vintage Ricky Hatton, right? And if he had the strength to back up, his right weight at 140, he would back you up, and then he would create angles. He would take half steps. He would step to one side. He would rip you through the middle. He doesn't have any of them skills whatsoever.
Blood Boxing, by the way, I've just given you an invite to come into the channel. King Selena 2.0, he was the man that argued with me and told me that Joshua has a great inside game. And I said, no, mate, he doesn't have a good inside game. And his inside game is nowhere as good as Takam's. And I don't think Takam's inside game is that great. I think it's okay.
He's no Mike Tyson.
No, absolutely not. And I said,
no.
If Evander Holyfield was fighting Joshua that night,
oh my God.
Jesus Christ, I said it already with the combinations. And one more thing I want to add: when people were saying to me, Takam's too small and he's not big enough, I asked a question to all these Joshua lovers out there. At what point did Joshua bully Takam when he up in the clinch?
There was a point Joshua was going backwards.
Thank you.
Which I thought was weird. I'm like, okay, that's when I knew he was tired. I said, you're tired. You're tired. You're taking a step back, you're tired.
Bo, the reason he kept getting backed up, he has no jab. That jab's just sort of like, it's almost that amateur thing of you just keep popping it out. Pop the jab, pop the jab, pop the jab. If he had a jab like you listen, I'm talking about elite guys, a Larry Holmes type jab, where it would keep you off and it would hold you away and it would give you your distance control, that would be different. But the reason he gets backed up is because that jab's just sort of almost pushed out rather than, like a stiff jab.
Yeah, because it goes back to what I said. He's not stepping with that jab. He's just throwing it out.
He's got to put that front forward first and pop that jab.
Gentlemen, we have King Slender says, Joshua played with this guy and on 2 weeks' notice, stop the idiocy. LOL.
He was in camp for 12 weeks, right? I've seen Takam. Takam was in great shape. Listen, his abs were on show. And when a heavyweight fighter of 6'1" and what was he, 16'11", and his abs are on show, that guy's just not walked out the fucking street for a fight. That guy was in proper condition.
Yep. He's saying that Joshua played with him.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they added LOL at the end, so at least we know they're joking.
Where's my man Blood Boxing? He should be in the room. He should be coming soon. Is he not here yet? Okay, guys, let's talk about other potential opponents. Now, I heard I'm gonna add 4 or 5 names in the room. First of all, Amir Mansour. How legitimate has he a claim to fight Joshua next?
I'll let Bo go with that one.
Bo?
Oh my God! You want Mansour?
Yeah.
No. No, you take Amir Mansour. Come on, man. I mean, no, no, no. Hell no. Hell
Why?
no. Well, first of all, I mean, Amir Mansour is probably Takam is better than Amir Mansour. And you're talking about a guy. You're talking about a muscular guy that's like old and no, man, it's a bad look if you fight Amir Mansour, in my opinion. I mean, he's a good fight. I mean, you know, he probably have a good fight. He's probably, I think he's a better inside fighter than Takam. All right, and Amir Mansour has some pop, and he has a lot more dog in him. He won't be, he'll be trying to bully him, but I just don't think that that's the fight that, from a fan standpoint, that a lot of people will want to see. But is that, you know what, Anthony Joshua probably could fight the guy holding the sign that says "Help me," and he'll sell out.
Yeah, but okay, you laugh at Mansour. He's got the left. He's a southpaw, and he's got big punch, left hand, and he can punch. He can crack. He can knock you out. As you know,
I'll tell you why that fight don't happen, right?
Yeah.
That fight don't happen because nobody knows who he is, right?
Yeah.
That's why that fight don't happen. He has no. Listen, we know what's going on, right? Joshua is a brand. Joshua is not a Mike Tyson. He's not a ruthless wrecking machine. This guy is a brand.
It says Mansour is the best US attraction according to you guys. It's not according to us guys. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. No. But we've got. See, there's a problem in this room. I tell you what, the room. We've got a couple of guys in the room who have a problem with other fighters coming on the channel and giving exclusives. They have a problem with that. They have a problem with other guests coming on the show.
That's what you do.
That's what I do. So everybody that comes on the channel is my mate. So if I talk to Jesus, if I talk to John Wayne one day, he comes on the channel, he's automatically my mate. And I've automatically got a bias to him.
Ingram,
because I get a good connection.
Hey, that would be special.
Well, it would be special. But, you know, I think it's idiotic that people could think. I know that some people can't separate a professionalism from being friendship. And the thing is, because I have a good relationship with these people, because I do my job in a professional manner, people take that as they're my mate. They're my buddy.
Ingram, we disagree on fighters all the time, right? We disagree on who we think is going to win a fight, and that's cool, right? But I don't come on this show to, you know, like polish you or anything like that. I come on this show because we talk boxing, and we talk boxing from the heart. We talk boxing because we know the fight game.
Right. Well, not just that. You know, I'm gonna tell you what. For me, I come on the show, especially when I see other guests, because I like people's different opinions, different views.
Absolutely.
Give me some insight. Learn, teach me something. Maybe it's something I missed. I'm not the end all to be all for boxing. So maybe it's something I missed. Maybe it's something I can learn. That's why, and like you said, I have a love for the sport so much so that I never want to stop learning. You could be 15 years old, and I still think you can teach me something because I don't know what.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and that's
so true.
What you have for the sport of boxing.
Wow. People say AJ would beat Muhammad Ali, but they don't want to admit it. Ali would have got knocked out. He's not an inside fighter like AJ.
Oh my God. Oh my God. They need to put the crack pipe down.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm at work. I would take a shot of vodka with wow. Like, who has he fought? See, when people say stuff like that, I ask this question. Who has he fought to make you feel like that? I know Ali has fought several Anthony Joshuas. Okay, he's fought a few Anthony Joshuas.
Yeah.
Name me one Ali that Anthony Joshua has faced for you to say that.
There we go.
So, wow. Oh, that's enough of that comment, please.
Okay, so then I guess Kubrat Pulev might be next in line for Joshua then.
Kubrat Pulev is going to be fighting Frez Oquendo for the WBA regular title.
And there's another problem, right? There's more boxing titles than I've had ex-girlfriends. I mean, I can't even keep up. Like silver titles, bronze, you know, all these WBA, like
Continental.
Yeah, this is another problem with boxing, right? You know, you like Dillian Whyte, right, against Hellenius tonight. Well, he should be called Henius. It was I mean, that guy didn't even want to win that fight. You know, and I don't even get that mentality. Dillian Whyte is so basic and so limited, and he is living off the claim to fame of a dubious win against Chisora, who's no great shape. So I like Derek a lot. But he, you know, that was, you know, some people scored it in his favor. And wobbling AJ, right? Because everybody thinks AJ is like this wall, and he's not. You know, he's got flaws, but and everyone's talking about. Listen, Dillian Whyte doesn't beat Lucas Brown, right? He doesn't beat Hughie Fury. He doesn't beat Joseph Parker, right? He doesn't beat Anthony Joshua. I mean, that guy, if he fought a guy tonight who had absolutely no interest in winning. The first 3 rounds, he must have shit his pants. He thought, hang on a minute, I've got to stop this. Whatever I'm doing here, I need to stop because I'm going to whoop this guy's ass. Right? And he stopped trying. I don't get that. I don't care how much you're getting paid. If you ever said to me in my sport or when I boxed, oh, you're not allowed to win this fight tonight, I go, well, then don't put me in there.
I don't know what Helenius' plan was. It was like, okay, I'm going to come forward for 10 seconds. You're going to hit me with a jab. I'm going to go against the ropes and you're going to land your best body shots on me. And then you're going to try and throw from distance a right hand and a left hook that's never going to land. As I said before, I think Dillian Whyte needs to change his trainer because I don't think his trainer is doing him any favors, and he needs to leave Eddie Hearn and actually go over a promoter that actually has his best interest at heart and put him in fights so he can look good.
He's just not that good. Period. Right.
I made a comment about Dillian Whyte. I said Dillian Whyte will probably be nothing more than maybe a Commonwealth champion, and that's pretty much about it.
There we go.
So why does everyone push Dillian Whyte up to fight Wilder then? Or is that because people like to kiss the ass of Eddie Hearn? Is that what it is?
Wilder is a fucking great fight for Dillian Whyte. He gets paid probably 1.2, 1.3 million. Gets absolutely rinsed. Absolutely rinsed. The guy is just so basic. His feet are awful. Look, when he throws a big right hand, he spins. He don't even have any control over his feet.
But what has to happen is because he needs to get a better trainer. That's what I think.
No, mate, he's just not a good fighter. That's it. Just not a good fighter.
Remember when he fought Anthony Joshua? He hit Joshua with a right hand. He couldn't come back with a punch after that because he damn near failed himself. That's how off-balance this dude.
But because he was actually injured when I told everyone before the fight, he was injured. He was injured before the fight. His shoulder was injured, and he didn't train properly for the fight. But all the people saying fight Joshua said, don't fight Joshua. You're not even fit, and he knew he was injured, and it was a catch and shoot. The same left hook that he caught Joshua with is the same left hook that Joshua got caught by Klitschko with. The left hook, and then Klitschko hit him with the right hand. Same thing. Joshua's not improving.
No. He's regressing. I mean, you imagine if he'd have fought a prime Klitschko or a prime Vitali. I mean,
no kind of prime. The same Klitschko that fought Fury that night.
Yeah, that was nearly 2 years later. But apparently, the version that Tyson Fury fought was shite and done. Yeah, he went life and death. AJ went life and death with that version of Klitschko, right? And on my life. Fury absolutely schools him. I don't think, honestly, and like Tyson Fury is like, you know, it's hard because people have an agenda, right? You know, I'm a gypsy, right? No, I'm not in the ghetto, Bo. I'm in Belgium. Out the window, right? Like everybody like runs a Tyson Fury down, right, because of his background and where he comes from, and you know. Listen, he don't help himself, very much like Billy Joe Saunders. Me and Ingram have talked about this before, right? If I was in control of both of them, I wouldn't let them speak to the media full stop, right? Because they don't do my background any favors, they don't do themselves any favors, right? And it's just you know, I find it crazy that they're allowed to speak to the media because they just don't help themselves, right? But Tyson Fury, takes AJ to absolute school, right? And he ain't the greatest thing in the world, Tyson Fury, either, right? He's good at what he does. He's big, he's rangy, he's long, he's got decent feet. Doesn't have any real power for a man of that size. But because he's a gypsy and he comes from the traveling community, everybody hates on him, right? And this is another load of bullshit, right? If he was a black guy and we hated on him, like, it would all come out that it's some kind of racist connotation, right? And it isn't. It's just basically, it seems almost acceptable to call me a pikey and a jippo, right? But you can't, you know, it's bullshit. It's double standing bullshit.
I did a article. I did a video about that. How I felt like the UK AADA or whatever I think you call the testing. I say, listen, man, they're bullshitting Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
they've been bullshitting Tyson Fury for 2 fucking years.
Yeah,
they're playing with his career. It takes you 2 years to make a decision on whether a guy passed or failed a drug test. If you have the evidence, saying he failed, okay, he failed. What takes 2 years to prove it? And then there was an interview that I listened to Ingram did, where they didn't even know they was being called. They thought they was being called in for some type of fill out questionnaire, and turns out later on he had been charged.
Yeah.
So this, it's in my honest, humblest opinion, and I agree when me and Ingram talked about this a while back, and we both said Tyson Fury should drop all the belts and just hang on to the fucking ring lineage belt and defend that and say fuck it to all of y'all, because they have been screwing this dude over for 2 years now for no reason.
Hey, he should go to Ireland, get his boxing license there, promote himself, go alone, and go that route, right?
Unfortunately, that might not be as simple as it may seem. Him trying to get a boxing license in Ireland, I think they sort of tried, and Irish boxing board,
they know his fragilities, right? They know his fragilities. The problem is, right, British boxing can't afford to have someone like Tyson Fury as their flag bearer, right? And that's even more disgusting, right? Because that's even more like hypocrisy. They don't want him involved because they can't control him. They can't make money out of him, right? And that's what this whole bullshit scenario boils down to. It's about control, right? They want British press, British boxing. They want Anthony Joshua as their poster boy, right? Because, you know, it's perfect. It's perfect. He's a guy that had a bit of a checkered past, served up. You know, you think about when you listen to other guys that he was like a crack dealer or a major player in, like, a gangster, right? He served up a bit of puff, right? A bit of pop. You go to most boxing fights now, you have big cards. Everybody at fucking ringside, the majority of them have been in the toilet sniffing up Charlie off a dirty toilet seat, right? That's the facts.
It's facts.
Right? You know, there ain't a £20 note in this country that ain't got residue of ching on it. But all of a sudden, like, you know, oh, well, Tyson Fury, you know, he might have like, you know, let's grow up a little bit, right? Is it right? No. If drugs good? Absolutely not, right? They shouldn't be anywhere, right? But the matter of fact is, I don't partake in any of that shit, right? But if people want to do it, they do it, right? Most bankers and millionaires and playboys and all these people around boxing, they're all fucking at it, right? I go into a toilet and they're queuing up there, not for a shit, because they're lining up gear for each other. That's just the way it is. But because Tyson Fury maybe got, I don't know where he's been caught for pet. This is the thing, right? And Bo's exactly right. What has he been done for? We don't even, like, is it PEDS? Is it coke? What is it? But 2 years? And that guy's a fragile fella, right? We should put his arm around him, not abuse him, right? If he was on Jeremy Kyle, we were going, oh, I'm gutted. Oh, the poor fella. Because he's a gypsy, oh no, he's just a pikey piece of shit. And we have to deal with that, right? I have to deal with that. My family as a community have to deal with that shit. And it's wrong. It's bullshit.
See, I'm not quite sure what to say here, because, you know, there's more to it than what might meet the eye in terms of this Tyson Fury situation. I don't think the full story's come out. I don't think we're going to ever find out what the true story is behind Tyson Fury and this whole scandal. We might never know what the truth is, because I think if you uncover that, you may uncover what is really going on in British boxing or what's going on in world boxing, and it might not be too good. So that's what I think really is going on.
That's the truth right there. I mean, I like I said, right, I meet as I find. I don't care who you are, where you're from, your background, your color, your creed, your religious beliefs. I take on what you find, right? I've met most people in boxing, right? Like a guy you just done a little bit of work for, Dennis Hobson, right? There's plenty of stories about that fella, right?
Yes.
Lovely guy. Absolutely loves boxing. I love people that love boxing, right? And I love people that love real boxing. You know, people like us three, right? We love boxing. We're passionate about the sport because we love it.
Yeah.
Right? Not because we've got an agenda or that it makes us money. Boxing costs us money, right? We go to shows. I don't get free tickets. I'll buy my tickets if I have to. If there's a fight I want to go, I'll go and buy it, right? Dennis Hobson, right? He loves boxing. He's a promoter. Yeah.
Chris, you still there? Chrissy, you still there?
I thought maybe it was my phone going out again.
No, I think Chris has disappeared for a second. Bo, so carry on the conversation with us. Let's change subject slightly. Let's talk about this situation between Wilder and Joshua, and why Joshua, until Chris gets back, this Joshua situation. Joshua's saying, "Oh well, you know, I want to manage my career," and well, I don't know. Do you think he should fight Wilder next?
I think that fight definitely should happen next. There is nothing standing in the way of that fight being made other than maybe Eddie Hearn. That's about it. The WBA don't have a mandatory form. They took care of that, which I have my own thoughts about what they did to Luis Ortiz. I mean, granted, he didn't do himself no favors, but the WBA been fucking over Luis Ortiz for quite a while. So, but yeah, this fight. Listen, this fight should happen next. You got 70,000 people to watch Joshua fight Carlos Takam. You telling me you can't fill up Wembley with Anthony Joshua versus Wilder, USA versus UK? That's a rivalry fight, right? And I've always told people rivalry fight sells. So don't tell me that 70,000 people watch Carlos Takam and you can't get that same 78,000 or 90,000 to watch Joshua. Go for it all against Dillian Whyte. Go for the most prestigious belt in all the boxing, WBC belt. Bullshit. So, in my humblest opinion, I think, yes, the fight should happen next. The question is, will it happen next? I really don't. I think, number one, it'll depend on what we saw or what we see from Wilder in this next fight. That's number one. If Wilder looks too good, no, it won't happen next. If he don't look as good and squeaks by a victory like he did the first time, possibility it might happen next. A better chance. But I think right now what we saw with this early stoppage, the 78,000 people, the amount of money they got behind Anthony Joshua, I don't think they're gonna fight Wilder next. I think they'll save that fight for close to maybe this time 2018. They're gonna milk this because it's just way too much money you're talking about right now. Because if Anthony Joshua loses, what do you have to sell? That's why I don't think the fight happens next. If Wilder looks like crap, then yeah, they'll probably make it. But if let's say he knocks out Stiverne in the first 3 rounds and he looks good doing it, I don't think you make that fight next.
It all depends on the big elephant in the room, what Stiverne does against Wilder next week, or what Wilder does against Stiverne next Saturday night.
Yeah,
if it goes the way that a lot of people predicted, like a lot of people have predicted about Takam and Joshua, a lot of people said, "Oh, Takam will get blown away in a few rounds." I said, "No, it's not going to happen." If the way I saw Takam fight Joshua, and I predicted this would happen, if Stiverne fights anything where I think he's going to fight next weekend against Wilder, then I think we've got a real good fight in our hands next weekend. A real good fight, an underrated fight. And if you know, all I'm saying is that if it is a good fight, and Wilder doesn't look good, or Wilder has to get off the deck, then it won't look good for an AJ Wilder fight in the future. Wilder's got to do an absolute number on Stiverne.
But Wilder is like AJ, right? They're both accidents waiting to happen.
Man,
Both of them.
please say, I've said this before I got speak. You know, this is why what you said earlier. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is why what you said earlier resonated with me when you said we love boxing. I can not like a fighter, but if you make an incorrect statement about a fighter, I'll be like, no, that's not correct. And I've said it before. I said, listen, Deontay Wilder is an L waiting to happen. He's an L waiting to happen. That's why I really wanted that Luis Ortiz fight. Like, this is an L waiting to happen for this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm
not being funny, right? I look at all these fighters, that modern day fighters, right? They're all like L's waiting to happen. I mean, they're in the great era of heavyweight boxing, which we've not had. 18 months ago, right? We were looking and going, oh my God, we've got some great matchups, like potentially. But then when you're like I want to know everyone's opinion on like Lucas Brown, right? I like Lucas Brown, right? He's a nice guy. He's a stand-up guy. He's tough. He's strong. He's not technically gifted at all. Yeah, he was potentially, well, he won a version of the title, right? So this is how far we've regressed in our heavyweight division. That you've got an ex-bouncer guy who's just tough, who potentially could, like, he could wipe out the heavyweight division. This is how far we've regressed as that division. You know, someone said to me earlier, "Oh fuck me, Dillian Whyte's making Hellenius look like Lomachenko," right? I mean, that is how fucked up this division is.
That's true.
I mean, it's a mess, right? It's a mess, right? I mean, think of our like say what you want about Mike Tyson, right? And yeah, he was limited because, again, of the era, right? And of his mental problems, which probably robbed him of becoming probably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, right? Could you imagine a 1986 version of Mike Tyson today fighting what we now all watch? Oh my God, he would absolutely just go through them like a hot knife through butter. Because
it'd be like Bruno Tyson again with Joshua and Tyson. That's what it would be.
I mean, it's some crazy shit. But and this is the thing, right, about people that are just new to boxing. They're like going, like, how many times tonight, Ingram, have we heard like, oh my God, Joshua would do Lewis or do Mike Tyson or do this and do. Oh, and I'm like, really? And how dare people even bring up the Muhammad Ali word? I mean, that guy was just.
Lennox Lewis. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis. Frank Bruno, right? Like, Frank Bruno, one of the greatest operator in the world, right? But I tell you what, he would have given Joshua every amount of trouble that he could have dealt with.
Never mind Tyson. How would the president have done against these guys?
Wow.
Like Ikiabuchi.
Oh my God. Is he?
Ikiabuchi, that would. Oh my God.
Hey,
cut too short. Oh my God. Man.
Hey, and we spoke about Evander Holyfield earlier, right? Who was?
Oh my God! No, don't go there again.
Who come up to heavyweight? Who wasn't really a real heavyweight.
A big heavyweight, yeah.
You know what I mean? Really, Bo, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks would have dominated this division, and he was a small man. But apparently,
well, you know the biggest.
We don't know shit.
Young or old George Foreman would have had a good time.
Oh my God, Big George! Can you imagine?
Oh my God! Could you imagine of putting AJ in front of George Foreman? Oh my God! He would have taken that fight with an hour's notice.
I would even take the George Foreman that fought Michael Moore. I'd even have that George Foreman.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, that guy was a beast. That guy got beat only by one of the geniuses of our era. And like there was no other person. I mean, Muhammad Ali ended his career effectively, right? And everybody building up to it was very much like AJ against Takam. This guy's got no chance. This guy, he's going to get blown out.
Said, they're going to kill him.
I'll give you guys a name. I'll give you guys a name that wasn't a champion. I would love to see Ernie Schaefer would be a world champion in this era.
Oh my God.
Ernie Schaefer, Terry Creary would be a world champion in this era of boxing.
He'd be undisputed. I'm not being funny. Like if they were alive now, and I know that you'd have to be like reasonably, they'd have to be correct about the way they worded it, but they were so good. I mean, these guys were actually like real fighters.
Well, okay, I'm gonna throw a name in. You guys might not like me say the name. Mitch Green. What would Mitch Green have done in this era?
Well, that's cool.
Mitch Green. Mitch Green. He had curly he tall at 6'4", 6'5".
Mitch Green he would be a champion too, in my opinion, because Mitch Green had very fast hands and he was durable. Mitch Green had fast hands, he was durable, he had good feet.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave Tyson, because people were talking about some, I remember watching the Tyson fight. They said, Tyson playing with us. I said, no. Mitch Green is killing him with that jab. That's why Tyson is in the corner. Green is popping his neck back with that jab. Y'all are fooling yourselves.
Mitch Green, man. People, Bomb Crusher Smith, Tim Witherspoon.
James the Quick Tillis. Yeah.
Oh God, there we go.
I'm literally right. I'm gonna box wreck. Everyone says about Mike Tyson, right? That he didn't fight anybody. I'm just gonna look down the list, right, of people that I think that potentially could have like caused dramas in this division, like Mitch Green being one of them.
Tony Tucker, maybe.
How about Gallotta, right? Here we go. How about Gallotta? What would Gallotta have done with AJ?
It depends what Gallotta turns out. If the Gallotta that fought Lennox Lewis, he would have got smashed. If it's the Gallotta that fought Riddick Bowe, he would have beaten AJ. Well, forget, never mind Gallotta. Just having Riddick Bowe, having a fit Riddick Bowe.
Razor Ruddock. I even like Razor Ruddock. People forget about him. Razor Ruddock.
Yeah, but look what Tommy Morrison did to Razor Ruddock. Well, Razor Ruddock's still banging people out.
Trevor Berbick, right? Prime Trevor Berbick.
Yeah, Trevor Berbick, right? Yeah.
Well, okay, you have Berbick and I'll have Larry Holmes.
Yeah, and they all beat AJ, right? And they all beat him convincingly.
They beat AJ and Wilder.
Yeah.
Wilder.
Same night.
Yeah, they beat AJ and Wilder. Yeah. You know what? I found a video and I played it and I asked this question. You guys remember the punch that Ernie Schaefer hit Larry Holmes with?
Oh my God!
And I said, what heavyweight today would get up from that punch?
Mate, if I'm tired, I watch that video on YouTube. It puts me to sleep.
Man.
Evander Holyfield is the only one I think I probably would have got up from that shot. Maybe.
Yeah, that
guy. No. I'm talking about the current crop of champions we have right now. The current crop of heavyweights. I'm like, what heavyweight of the current crop of heavyweights we have right now would have got up from that punch?
None.
Yeah, I'm serious. That punch.
Serious, right? That's serious, right? That was like you're going to sleep.
Yeah, and now take that fight and put it in today's perspective. The referee would have stopped it before Larry Holmes hit the ground.
Yeah, and when have we seen a fight like that in the last 10 years?
Oh,
we are like, and that's the thing, right? We remember them fights. I'd spend days, like I'll go home and I'll just randomly think, right, I'm gonna go watch an old fight. and you watch them kind of fights, and that's what gives us knowledge, right? We understand. We understand what these guys, you know, and they were doing it for like pennies. You know, it wasn't like a brand or because you're sponsored or because you're on like Showtime or you're on whatever else. These guys they're genuine, like they're like boxing.
I don't even think we have to go that far back. Vitaly Klitschko.
Oh my God.
In this era.
Could you imagine what he would have done with AJ? Oh my God.
Oh, man.
I was talking to John Rowling tonight, right? And we came up with exactly the same thing. Could you imagine a prime Vitaly who had a much better chin than Vladimir, right?
Yeah. Vitaly to me had not only have a better chin, he was more athletic than Vitaly.
He was more physically gifted.
Right. Vitaly was more athletic to me than Vladimir. Lennox Lewis took that victory and ran.
But they had like long muscles, right? So they were really big guys, but they had long muscles, so they could fight 12 rounds. You know, like a 12-round fight for them was effortless.
Here we go. We're not giving Anthony Joshua any credit here. What credit do you want him to? What's to give him credit for?
His two biggest wins, right, are a very, very old Vladimir Klitschko and Dillian Whyte, who's absolute dog shit. And I'm not hating on Dillian, right? That ain't my thing, right? I don't hate on anybody, right? I've been in that. I've been in there. I know what they go through, right? And it's not a hate thing, right? But let's be honest, right? I mean, Charles Martin won the belt by default, and he was a bum, right? He was shit, right?
Well, hold on. He walks this earth like a god. Just remember that.
Yeah, and then he fought a basketball player, right? Right, a basketball player. That's like me having a fight tomorrow with fucking.
Listen, he fought a guy in belly that had bigger breasts than my wife.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but I'm really like. I mean, I love the fact that. Well, no, I don't love it. I hate it, really, in a way that it's all branding and marketing, and it's really all very clever. But the problem is now, as Ingram would tell you, like he gets people in his room that go on like, this guy is like the second coming of Muhammad Ali.
Right, I've decided now he is Hercules, mythical god. That's what AJ is. Just call him Hercules. That's what he is now.
You know, see, this is what we were talking about. I remember a time where you could criticize a fighter and not be deemed as a hater of a fighter. You could give a fighter credit and not be deemed as a fanboy. I remember, I literally remember a time where I could sit there and I could tell you, listen, dog, yeah, he fought this guy, but come on, this guy was garbage when he fought him. But we give him credit for the victory, and people would acknowledge, yeah, he was garbage, but let's hope he fights a better. Nowadays, you can't say shit bad about the fighter of the month when it comes to boxing.
No,
you can't. You just can't do it no more.
I said it earlier on. I said this earlier on, and then people. Here's another thing. Tonight, Carlos Takam was considered a bum. Now, by many, he was considered a bum. So if he's considered a bum just took Joshua 10 rounds and needed a referee to help save him. Well, because it was the stoppage was poor. So where does that put now Joshua if he got beat by a bum? If he just beat a bum, what does that put Joshua?
This is the thing, right? So we all go like 2 months ago. I said like, well, I think AJ Wilder is like a 50-50 fight, right? For me, it's the first one that lands on the button wins, right? Because they're both chinny, right? Tonight's fight showed me again more limitations to AJ's game.
Oh no!
Right? If a guy like Takam can not necessarily cause him problems, but take him 10 rounds, yeah, everybody talks about AJ like he's like this absolute monster, right? That's a 16 stone 11 guy that maybe didn't have the best camp, or he's not got the best resume in the world. If he can take him into deep water, right? So again, right? So I go, it's like I remember when Floyd Mayweather was 4-6 to beat fucking Conor McGregor, and everybody was telling me you read online, Conor McGregor's going to knock him out. What the fuck are you on about? Really? That is the worst version of Floyd Mayweather I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He did.
Do you know what? I've decided I'm going to do a show called Some of the Dumbest Shit You'll Hear Over YouTube. It should be a weekly show, and just specifically focusing on trolls. If trolls really want to give us all this shit, then guess what? We'll take their energy and we'll make a show out of it.
We'll review their tweets and expose them for what they are, right? They never even had a fight. Like, they didn't even have a school fight.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't know shit. They honestly, like, and I love boxing fans, right? Because
you all hate on AJ, but he's never lost before. Guys like Ali and Holyfield had lost in their careers. AJ's 20-0, so he's smashed them all.
Okay. Guys like Ali and Holyfield have lost to who? Joe Frazier, another all-time great Hall of Famer.
yeah, he was
Spinks, another Hall of Famer.
another.
Larry Holmes, another great Hall of Famer. Like, these are the guys they lost to. Okay, but now let's look at the guys they had to fight. Ernie Schaefer, Ronnie Loud, Jerry Perry.
Don't keep running average players, right? I mean, them guys are just like, they're just. I mean, what are they?
20-0,
motherfuckers.
Sorry, guys.
20-0. I mean, he's 20-0, and see this is like, so when people, that's why when people talk to me about Wilder's record, and don't get it twisted, his record ain't great to look at either, but he's 20-0. One recognizable name that we look at and recognize, which is Klitschko. Wilder's 20-0 with one recognizable name, which is Stiverne.
Yeah.
Look at Muhammad Ali at 20-0. Look at Larry Holmes at 20-0.
Yeah, there's some funny listings in there.
Right, yeah, what I'm saying. You see some names in that 20-0. Okay, so that's what he's 20-0. Wow. Okay.
Hey, most of these guys that them two have faced, AJ and Wilder, them guys won't win a fight down my local pub. Trust me, they won't win a fight in my local pub. They are just like fucking feed for these guys to hype their records.
Right, guys, you two guys, I'm going to put it. Let's talk next weekend's fight between Stiverne and Wilder. I know there's a lot of hate for Stiverne. Let's do it anyway. Let's talk Wilder and Stiverne. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Let's hear what you both guys think about Stiverne and Wilder for next weekend.
You go, Bo.
Man, I'll be honest with you. If Deontay Wilder, which I think he's going to do, he's going to come in. He's going to, whatever he worked on in training camp, that goes out the fucking window, because the guy doesn't know how to do what he does in training camp. He has the skill, but he only wants to land the big right hand because that's what he relies on. So I think he's going to look to land that big right hand because that's what he relies on. Look to try to make a statement and knock Stiverne out. He might even get caught with something because he's going to be too eager to do anything. And he probably will win I think he'll win by late knockout. But honestly speaking, I don't think Wilder's going to look impressive at all. Wilder has regressed since the first Stiverne fight. And I said this, the best Deontay Wilder ever looked to me is when he fought Chris Arreola, because his right hand was broken. He had to use his left, and he showed skill, he showed talent. But when his right hand is healed, the guy just looks to land one big shot, and that's it. And it's the single ridiculous thing that I've ever seen in a fighter is when you look to land one big shot like that. I'm not trying to shit on him, and if you take it like I am, okay, so be it. It is what it is. But boxing is not about one goddamn punch. Okay, you have to set it up. You have to plan for it. You have to You know, you know what I'm saying? You have to position it to happen. You can't just hope this motherfucker puts his hand out, sticks his chin out so you can hit him. You can't hope to do that. Okay? You can't. I don't care how much, which is the reason why this crop of heavyweight fighting we talk about now is the way it is, because skillful fighters know how to offset that. Unfortunately, I don't know if Stiverne is that skillful of a fighter. So Wilder wins, in my opinion, a lackluster performance. And even if he does win big time, it still doesn't prove anything to me, because you beat a guy who pretty much you beat once before. So if you knock him out this time, well, you beat him already. That's not impressive to me. But at the end of the day, I think Wilder wins, and he's not going to look good. I honestly believe he's not going to look that great winning. I truly believe that.
Okay.
You don't look that great anyway. Hey, the guy is athletic, and he's got one punch. He's a one-trick pony, and that's that
Yes.
long looping right hand. And if you had like a good fighter who understood about trying to take away that right hand, Wilder would be lost. I mean, he really is like.
Well, he was against Washington. Washington had him lost.
Yeah, exactly. And he's no fucking, he's no Muhammad Ali either. You know what I mean? Like,
He's not.
these guys are really basic. I mean, and I keep going on about someone like Lucas Brown, right? I like Lucas a lot, right? The guy's a straight up guy. He's tough. He's nails, right? He's hard, right? But his skills are very, very basic. But he has the potential. Yeah, like, if he beat all of them, I wouldn't be surprised, and that's not about what he's all about. It's about what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wilder is like really, really. I mean, if you had a limited amount of skills and you were a big, strong guy that could hold a shot, Wilder is easy money, right? I mean, he has he doesn't have any attributes apart from that long looping right hand, right? He has no feet whatsoever. He spins off of his jab. All he relies on is that big right hand. And when he's fought guys that have, I mean, his resume is absolutely toilet. I mean, it's awful. I mean, the guy is, and he's deluded, right? He goes on, he's doing all these messages, and I'm like, you haven't even had a fight yet. You haven't he hasn't even had a stand-up straightener where he's been like absolutely had to go to, go to the well and really turn it on. Not one fight yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Guys, I want to throw some things up at you. Number one thing, if Wilder could not...
To be honest right there about a fighter is like, so for all you guys that were saying we were shitting on AJ, what do you think about this right here? We just got to saying.
Yeah, are you talking to guys in the room? Both? Yeah. Guys, give us your opinions. Actually, I tell you what, Chris, do you want to do the if you can do the, can you see what's been written in the room, the chat?
No.
You can't. Okay, never mind. Okay, fine. All right. Well, okay. A few things I want to throw up here, Bo, and Chris. Point number one. To me, Deontay Wilder is a one-handed fighter, which is he loads up in just the right hand. If you take the right hand away, Deontay Wilder is an extremely vulnerable fighter. So that's the first thing. Second thing is
to take that right
without the right hand being taken away.
What's that?
But to take that hand away, it's just movement, right?
Yeah. So you take the right hand away. That's the first thing. So it's only a right hand you really got to look out for, because I've never seen Deontay Wilder knock anybody out with a left hook yet. But anyway, apart from Malik Scott, well, we all know where that fight was going anyway. So that's one thing. The second thing is, if Stiverne was supposedly dehydrated, if he was dehydrated, and he couldn't knock Stiverne out the first fight, if Stiverne isn't dehydrated in the second fight.
I've never heard of a heavyweight fighter. He doesn't have to make weight unless he had the shit. That is the only reason why he could be potentially dehydrated, right?
No, I have another reason why he's been dehydrated, and I said this before the fight even happened.
Drugs.
I said before the fight even happened. Now, I think there's another person who suggested that he was dehydrated as well, and his name was Big Baby Miller, and he was sparring with Deontay Wilder. Did you not hear about that?
No.
No, that happened recently. Deontay Wilder was sparring with Big Baby Miller. There's an interview about it on, I think it's, what's the people called? The Boxing Voice.
How can a heavyweight fighter be dehydrated? I don't get it.
Good question. But Larry Holmes, the great Larry Holmes, was sitting ringside the night that Stiverne fought Wilder, and he pointed out to Don King that Stiverne was dehydrated. He could see the signs, and he pointed to Don King, and Don King had a word with Don House.
Is this the
that
great
he was dehydrated?
Said AJ would beat Mike Tyson?
AJ would beat Mike Tyson. Who said that?
Larry Holmes.
AJ would beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That's what Larry Holmes said. Larry Holmes says Anthony Joshua beats the prime Mike Tyson.
Believe. He said it. His interview online.
When did Ali say that? When did he say that?
Ingram's like, what the fuck?
when did Larry Holmes say that?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm finna find it for you.
Larry Holmes is an old man now. He's an old man. He's probably bitter because of what Mike Tyson did to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because remember, Tyson, the fight. You know the story behind Larry Holmes and Mike Tyson, right? What Don King did, right? Don King said, "Oh, we're going to sign to fight Mike Tyson, but we're going to give you X amount of time to fight Mike Tyson." And then basically, in the end, Larry only ended up having like a week or 2 weeks to prepare to fight Mike Tyson for the fight. So Larry had 2 weeks to prepare to fight Mike Tyson. That's the truth.
He could have had 20 weeks. He was still getting absolutely blitzed.
You really think so?
Yeah. And that one, even a prime. Yeah, Mike Tyson was a nightmare for heavyweights for one reason, right? He was small, but he carried. He had a technique. You got to remember, right? I don't think we ever. Probably the first. His resume is awful in his first, say, 20 odd fights, right?
Mm.
That's basically because of what he was fed, and that was nothing to do with Mike, really. But
yeah,
he was.
He
had a style that was almost impregnable, right? It was so unique that we would never see the likes of a prime Mike Tyson again, right, in a heavyweight division, because he probably shouldn't have been a heavyweight. You know what I mean? He was like small, he was compact, he was mobile, he had great feet, but his career was really short. I mean, up until it'd be easy to say about the loss against Buster, right? But this is a guy that came from a community that was really fucked up. He's really fucked up in the head anyway. And you only got a very, if he came from a normal background and he was level-headed, Mike Tyson would never have been beaten because he was a nightmare for it. Like, heavyweights are big guys, right? They're not mobile. So when they ever face a guy, Takam tonight against AJ, perfect example, right? A 6'1" guy who's mobile, got a bit of movement, and we're talking about a guy that you wouldn't even talk about in the same breath as Mike Tyson, right? So, and this is what a guy's doing against, the next Muhammad Ali,
but,
right?
Okay. The only thing I would say to you, Chris, there is, if you're going to say Mike Tyson, who was Mike Tyson's best win?
That's not his fault.
Really?
No. Who did he not fight?
Well, who was his best win?
Yeah, but no. Who did he not fight?
Wait. Okay. If we were going to say Mike Tyson's a great fighter, all right, we're going to say, well, okay, every fight that Mike Tyson was in, that he was behind and got dropped, he lost.
No,
Mike Tyson never got off the deck and won a fight. As far as I've known, from what I know of Mike Tyson, he never got off the deck and won a fight.
But Mike Tyson was a drug addict and a depressive, right? So
I appreciate that, but still, when we talk about the greatness of Mike Tyson,
yeah, but then I like to match people up at prime for prime, right? So I look at the Mike Tyson around 85 to probably 87, 88, right?
Okay.
He was a nightmare for any heavyweight because he was like, listen, right? Perfect example, right? Muhammad Ali had nightmares with Joe Frazier. George Foreman rinsed him.
Yep.
Right? Mike Tyson would have been awkward for any fighter in his prime when he was right. But Mike Tyson was a flawed note. I mean, the guy was fucked in the head. I mean, his marbles were absolutely all over the place. But when
I think Mike would have had a problem with any guy that put him onto the back foot. Mike was great coming forward. Mike was a great on-top fighter, but Mike had a problem with guys who pushed him back. Evander Holyfield pushed Mike back.
Yeah, but you can't compare. You can't. That's like me playing you down the pub at darts, right? You play me down the pub next week, right? I am far from anywhere near where I was, right? But the version of Mike Tyson that had to face Evander Holyfield, who would have been a prime Mike Tyson, he would have loved Evander Holyfield, right? Because he came to fight. Mike Tyson had problem with guys that would back up and didn't want to engage, right? There's nobody that would have engaged with Mike Tyson in his prime.
You think so?
And I totally understand that we could, but he was a flawed genius. He was a flawed, like Jimmy White of snooker, right? Nobody could pop balls like Jimmy White. Could he pop balls for the entirety of a tournament? Absolutely not, because he was flawed. And we have to just sometimes accept the fact that you know that them kind of people are not perfect. Because if he would have been perfect, would have been trained all the time, I don't think he would have been beaten.
But Mike, to be fair, we're talking about the mental aspect of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson going forward is an awesome fighter, devastating fighter. But we're talking about the sort of resistance Mike was when Mike was on the rampage, knocking everybody out. What was the resistance? Who were the guys that were considered the resistance? Are
you telling me he never, when he was engaging, never got caught on the chin?
Of course he got caught on the chin, but who was the guys who were fighting?
Were they quick to every heavyweight, anybody over 15 stone punches?
Well, I tell you, there's three guys I would have challenged you with that I would have put in with Mike Tyson at that time. At any time, at any era Mike was in, I would have given problem nightmares. Ali would have been number one. I would have put in there with Tyson because Ali would have talked to Tyson. He would have tied him up. He would have tied him up, and then I think he would have stopped Tyson late because Ali would have talked to Tyson.
You know why, right? Do you know why?
Okay,
I think Mike Tyson was a superior version of Joe Frazier, right? And Joe Frazier gave fucking Ali nightmares because he was on his chest.
Which Ali we talking about? It's Ali that came out of prison? Or are we talking about Ali before he went to prison?
Yeah, that's a good call. Listen,
I'm talking about Ali before he went to prison. Give me that Ali. You give me that Ali before he went to prison. He never went to prison. And you said that Ali with Mike Tyson. Ali wipes the floor with Mike Tyson. That Muhammad Ali.
Talking about the Ali that fought Ernie Terrell?
That Ali. What's my name, Ali? That Ali.
That one, Ernie Terrell, was it?
Yeah, that was Ernie Terrell.
Yeah, what's my name?
Or was that Big Cat Williams?
No, that was Ernie Terrell.
Ernie Terrell was a beast as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think I look for me, like Joe Frazier give Ali nightmares, right? And so I look at.
But Joe Frazier's mentality is different than Tyson. I don't think Frazier was a bully, whereas I think that Tyson is a bully. I think Tyson's an on-top fighter. I saw Frazier get dropped a number of times by Foreman.
Yeah, he got
and exactly. But I saw him go.
This is where I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Ali had Cuss and he had Rooney, right?
Yeah.
Not Ali, Tyson. See, the thing about Tyson, I said this. Tyson was a type of fighter that he needed a corner for him to tell him what to do and encourage him. Okay? Because I remember when he fought Frank Bruno, and Bruno hit him with a devastating. I thought Bruno was going to knock him the hell out. He rocked the shit out of Tyson, right? He goes back to the corner, And Rooney is in his ear telling him, hey, see what you got hit with, blah, blah. He's talking to him. Tyson comes out. He's rejuvenated. He knows what to do. He gets Bruno out of there. He also, even when he fought like some of them guys like James the Quick Tillis, he would go back to the corner and Rooney would talk to him. So he had a corner that, you know, they knew what they had. They knew how to talk. This guy has to be, and I hate to say the word baby, but this guy, right, he has to be programmed, and he can do the program. Now, if you take away Cuss and you take away Rooney, this is when Tyson started losing it, because he have guys that was just saying, oh, he's already good at doing this. Let's just focus on this and nothing else. And so they wasn't teaching anything. He was evolving. Go ahead.
And as a fellow depressive, right, you need direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Tyson needed direction when they whole the whole Rooney thing went, and then was it Clayton? And obviously Customato, right? He was lost. He was lost. He's like a little, like he's the baddest man on the planet, but also like a lost boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had nobody then to tell him. You know, he respected nobody. He was a bad man, right? Like, there's no bullshit. Mike Tyson is a bad motherfucker, right? But he needed people not to, you know, again, not to polish his nuts, but he needed to be told. And he lost all of that. Everything was gone, right? He was then living a life that he's just like a normal kid. And then all of a sudden he's put on this mantle. He couldn't handle it. That was the problem in my time. He couldn't handle the position he was put in. He came from he was a street kid, you know. And I think we're all too quick because we look at you know, I mean that McBride beat him. I mean, fuck, right? He fought too long. He was fucked up. Should never have been fighting. All them fights he lost, and I absolutely admire Evander Holyfield, but prime Mike Tyson, a genuine, fit, guided prime Mike Tyson, for me, doesn't lose to any heavyweight of any era.
Okay, I stick in George Foreman. I stick George Foreman in any Foreman against Tyson. Any Foreman.
George Foreman.
What?
He beats yes, he beats young George Foreman.
Tyson beats George Foreman.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes. He beats young George Foreman. I'm gonna tell you, listen, young George Foreman, biggest problem when he fought fighters. Number one, George didn't like going back either.
No.
Okay, just like Tyson, George didn't like going back. But here's the thing: George was not an inside fighter. Yeah. Tyson was an inside fighter. George Foreman, he actually, if you get inside of him, watch when he fought Frazier, he would actually step back to punch.
Yeah.
The thing is, with Tyson, you step back, he's throwing hooks.
Yeah, he's not quick.
Right, and he was quick, and Tyson could take a punch. You know, Tyson could take a devastating punch. So no, I think he beats a young George Foreman. Now, older George Foreman would have had a better thing because he had a jab on him. And then Tyson, you could Carl the Truth Williams, when they were sparring, watch that. You could beat Tyson with the jab. That's what Buster Douglas did. He beat the crap out with a jab.
James Quick Tillis.
Yeah, he beat the crap out with a jab. But older George Foreman, no, he'd have beat him, man. I mean, younger George Foreman, he'd have beat him. Beat him.
Yeah, easy as well. He was a nightmare for him.
Sonny Liston?
Now that's a good one because Sonny Liston had a good jab. Sonny Liston had a good jab.
Could you imagine that? Like, we laugh about it, but fuck, could you imagine the matchups? Like, if we had like a computer game where we could like put them in together. I mean,
Joe Louis.
Oh, hey,
no, you say Joe Louis? No.
I mean, who do we have now? Like them kind of people. We don't have. Boxing is now lost of these like proper hard men, like warriors. Like they die in the ring.
Think of
they're all in the cruiserweight division. That's going to move up to the heavyweight division. That's what's going to happen. The cruiserweight division is going to dominate the heavyweight division soon. Wait.
Yeah. Think of imagine Imagine Sam Langford versus Evander Holyfield.
Oh my God, man! Now you're killing it. Now you're killing it. Hey, everybody watching this now are going, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yeah, right. I know, right? You know what? I posted a picture, and I said, "Great fighters that never won titles, but they were great fighters." And I had Ernie Schaefer, Query, and Sam Langford. And somebody looked at the card. They said, "Sam Langford was the champion. It says it on your card." I said, "He was the colored heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
He
man.
was not." You just showed me how much you know about boxing right there.
Yeah, exactly, right. And this is where boxing is really totally fucked up, because all my life, people are now like, everybody that's listening in, they will be like Googling and BoxRec. Who the fuck is this guy, right? We know about these people, right? That's why we talk about boxing.
Guys, what are your thoughts on creating a super heavyweight division?
Oh, no, I don't like it.
I think it's fucking stupid. I
Yeah.
think it's fucking stupid.
That's what I was thinking, Bo.
It's fucking stupid. What it is just these organizations being fucking greedy because they want more money. That's all.
They want more titles.
Yep, they want more title, more money. That's all it is, man. But it is the stupidest shit I've ever. This is not the fucking amateurs. You don't need no super heavyweight. Okay? What? So basically, what you're telling me is if you make that division, Anthony Joshua does not fight Deontay Wilder unless he moves up. What the fuck? I need to wait for that shit.
You go, Bo.
It's more. I'm just saying it's bullshit. Like these junior this and junior that. The fuck you need? Fuck this junior shit. A junior is a son.
What is
So
it?
it's a junior son. What the hell? I need.
Hey, what is junior welterweight?
Right, it's right.
What the fuck? You're either a welterweight or you're not a welterweight.
But this junior shit pisses me off. The last junior we got the fucking just deal with is fucking Chavez Jr.
Junior Jones. Now that was a good fighter.
Yeah, he was. But these goddamn, just stop with these fucking juniors. Give me senior. 147. Okay, after that, your ass go to fucking 160.
Yeah.
Like the old time used to do. Shit. Them motherfuckers would step on the scale, and if they step on the scale 150 and you step on the scale 170, they still fought your ass. So cut this shit out. Super fucking heavy. Jesus Christ.
I'll take the clip with both of you guys and send it to Mauricio Suleiman. I'm sure they appreciate your comments and feedback.
Yeah, fuck him and all.
Fuck him and all.
You just had, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you say this. You just had Dillian Whyte and Robert Helenius fight for the fucking WBC silver belts. What did these two motherfuckers? How did Robert Helenius justify a WBC silver fucking belt? Kiss my black ass.
He's just a lazy ass fucker, right? That is stealing a living. I don't understand, like the mentality of like tonight. What? How did he not want to win that fight?
I agree.
Robert Helenius, I don't know. Robert Helenius hasn't been the same ever since. Ever since he had all those contractual issues, he hasn't been the same fighter. Between the contractual issues and the Duhaupas fight, he hasn't been the same fighter.
Hey, and this is the guy that went life and death with Derek Chisora.
Well, he was the guy that everyone was touting to be the next Klitschko, remember? There was David Price and there was Robert Helenius. They were the next Klitschkos, remember?
And they robbed Chisora that night.
You know what's funny? And this is crazy. Shout out to my man, Mr. Doctor. We talked about this. He brought it up. You remember we was talking about the resume of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Right? But if you take away wins, Derek Chisora got a best resume than both of them motherfuckers.
Yeah. Derek Chisora, Anthony Joshua, how does that fight go?
I think Joshua wins. Because Chisora fights in spurts. He fights in spurts too many times.
But did he fight in spurts better than Takam?
Yeah, it would be a good fight, but I still think Joshua wins.
Yeah, Chisora just like spends too much time holding up and just sort of like covering himself. and he would just punch holes in him. And he's frustrating Derek, because Derek is proper game. Like, I like Derek. I got a lot of time for Derek, right? But he just it's just frustrating to watch, you know, as a fan, because you often feel every time he has a fight, you often feel there's more. You know, he like that one night he fought David Hay, and you think, fucking hell, why did you even go there with Hay? I mean, I'm hearing people now going about David A beats fucking Joshua. I mean, David A can't beat a fat fucking Bellew. I mean, that is disastrous. This is the guy that got knocked out by Adonis Stevenson, right?
I had someone tell me that Tony Bellew knocks out Deontay Wilder.
Oh no! Oh my good lord!
What? What?
Yeah, somebody argued Tony Bellew would knock out Deontay Wilder.
Oh shit!
He could knock a wank out.
Simple as that.
He is like, on my life, like, that guy is so bad. Like, that just shows you. Everyone used to say to me years ago about how good David A was, right? And I used to say, but he went life and death with Mormet, right? He went life and death with Valuev, right? Valuev couldn't box fucking eggs, right? And then they're telling me that, oh, David ain't do this. David, he's shit, right? I mean, this is a guy that again went life and death and lost to Carl, right? And that's the same guy that fought Eubank, who was out of his, like, totally out of his fucking safety.
Weight division. Yeah, the cruiserweight.
A cruiserweight. I mean, honestly, this is what people forget, right? Everything matches up, right? There's like a path to the end. Yeah. So we can link it up. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You know, it's just some crazy shit that people come out with.
Chris, what you got to remember is when you rob a bank, you might rob a bank the first time, but you got to remember when you try to rob the same bank a second time, it might have extra security in it, so you might get caught the second time round.
And you've got to take the money back and pay it in, right? And then we get the same generation of people that go, oh, Joe Calzaghe wasn't that good. What the fuck? Oh, he beat Joe Calzaghe. He beat Joe. Really? Fuck me.
So it makes you realize Joe Calzaghe was a very good fighter. In his time, he was a very good fighter. I would like to still have seen Joe Calzaghe fight Roy Jones and Hopkins in their prime. I would love to see those fights. I would love to see Calzaghe fight the G-Man in his prime. Nigel Benn. Those are the guys. Eubank in his prime. That's what I would like to see Calzaghe fight. But again,
bro, this is how fucked up English fight fans are, right? They think Carl Froch beats Joe Calzaghe.
Oh shit.
Honest?
Yeah. Don't feel bad. American fans think Gennady Golovkin knocks him out.
Hey, Amir Khan's not fighting Kell Brook because he's not ready yet.
As a matter of fact, hold on. A matter of fact, American fans go as far as I had one American fan tell me, and I couldn't believe this. He said, Gennady Golovkin knocks out Marvin Hagler in 2 Name one person that has ever even knocked down Marvin Hagler. He said, Tommy Hearns. Okay, I'm done. I gotta leave this room.
I'm done here. Yeah, our time is over.
Like, Tommy
Bo, listen to this, right? Someone tweeted me the other day, right? I'll tweet you it back. Sugar Ray Leonard is overrated. True story. Bo, someone tweeted me that. I will tweet you that shit.
Oh, hold on. Bo says the best fight Bo said the best fight he liked was the one with when Leonard was through the ropes against Camacho. That was Bo's favorite fight, by the way. Go on to Bo.
Sugar Ray Leonard is overrated. Yeah.
I'm not a big Sugar Ray Leonard fan. I'm really not.
He said his favorite fight was seeing Sugar Ray going through the ropes against Camacho. That was his favorite fight.
Because I felt like he ducked Aaron Pryor. However, I would not say Sugar Ray Leonard was overrated. That's no.
I listen. I wasn't at the time. I wasn't a big Sugar Ray fan, right? I wanted Marvin to win, right? I just like bad motherfuckers, right? And Sugar Ray wasn't my cup of tea. But as you get older and you tend to like, you adjust your way of thinking and how you feel about people. But I look back at him now and I think, oh my God, like that guy had serious skills, right? He wasn't my cup of tea. He's still not my cup of tea now, right? But what a great, a great ambassador for the sport, a great fighter. But geez, overrated.
Can I ask a question? I'm going to ask a really funny question here, yeah? And I know you guys might think I'm chatting proper shit here, but I'm going to bring the name in James Toney.
Okay.
How great was James Toney?
I think a bigger question is how great could he have been had James Toney could have stayed focused.
Look, James Toney beat Evander Holyfield. He stopped Evander Holyfield.
Well, if James Toney would have been disciplined, we're going down that Mike Tyson thing again, right?
Mm-hmm.
If James Toney would have, that guy had skills, like serious skills, and heart, and he was game. But for me, I can't not rate him, but I underrate him because boxing won his life.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really ruins James Toney is when you look at James Toney when he fought Roy Jones Jr. That fight. Do you remember that fight when James Toney fought? Where they show all the time. James Toney, Roy puts his hands out. James Toney puts his hands out as well. And Roy clocks him. Roy hits him with a left hook and drops him. Do you remember that?
Yeah. My favorite memory of Roy Jones is my mate Enzo knocking him out.
Oh my God.
I am a sick motherfucker.
That's not right, man. Chris, that's wrong, man. You know you're wrong.
I love that though. I love it. I love that though.
No, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. You're wrong. And you know you're wrong as well.
I know.
Roy Jones did the weirdest move I've ever seen in boxing. Just when the division was about to get hot with fighters, he went to light heavyweight. Yeah. The weirdest move I've ever seen in boxing. Like, what are you doing? I mean, think about think about it. We got robbed. You had Roy, you had Hopkins, you had Gerald McCullough, and you had James Toney. We had another 4 kings in the middleweight division that didn't happen. And Roy moves up to fucking light heavy.
Yeah.
Well, Roy was meant to fight Nigel Benn. They were trying to get Ben Roy Jones. And after Roy Jones, when Ben fought McLennan, he didn't want no point. Roy Jones didn't want no point to Nigel Benn, remember?
Because he was trying to get the winner of Nigel Benn and Eubanks to fight James Toney.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would have happened if Nigel Benn fought Roy Jones?
Ooh.
Fuck.
Prime Roy Jones? I think
Roy Jones.
Prime Roy Jones would be.
I think Roy Jones beats him.
Based on his chin?
Yeah, he was fragile. He was fragile. I mean, I love Ben, right? But if he'd have had Eubanks' chin, he'd have been unbeatable.
You got to think about, he fought Gerald McLennan.
Yeah, but he should have been out in the first round.
He wasn't.
But he should have been.
He stood up and took them bombs from McLennan. So I think Ben's chin is very underrated.
Buster Douglas, my time. I love Nigel Benn. I love Gerald McLennan.
Okay, the fights Ben was stopped in. He got stopped by Eubank, a big puncher. He got stopped by, who else did he get stopped by? Not Michael Watson, where he just punched himself out that night. Who else did Nigel Benn get stopped by?
And Michael Watson was better than all of them.
Yeah.
Michael Watson was fortunate not to win a world title, unfortunately.
No, it was just sad. It was just one of them things.
That's the era, and this goes back to one of the we're talking about. You're talking about contenders, like you said, Watson, Carr, Jerry Crick. Scott, these were contenders.
Oh, Barcar, bloody hell. Flipping hell, there's a blast from the past.
Hey, but this is the thing, right? Bo is right. Look where we are now, right? Like
Mustafa.
let's throw Iran Barkley and names like that in the hat, right?
I'm going to throw Ronald Winky Wright in as well.
Oh, Winky Wright, man. How good was he? Fuck. Well, we don't have any guys like that anymore, right? The boxing, we don't have any people like we're just rolling out names, right? We're just spewing names out. And these guys of the modern era, they wouldn't even touch these guys. Sugar Ray Leonard, Iron Barkley, fucking Marvin Hagler. I mean,
I've got news for both you guys, Bo. According to Joseph, Gennady Golovkin would beat prime Joe Calzaghe. Silly question, since Golovkin has the size advantage and has knocked out elite punchers. Calzaghe's output was too low. He'd get overwhelmed by Golovkin's jab. We know that's definitely a troll.
Puncher has Gennady Golovkin knocked out. What elite puncher? What elite fighter has he faced outside of, if you want to consider Canelo Alvarez elite?
Danny Jacobs. That's the best fighter, bar Canelo. I'm a fucking huge Golovkin fan, right? But I was talking to Ingram earlier, right? When you go up in levels, like, your ability to hold a shot is night and day. And like, you know, I love Calzaghe, right? I love that. You know, I'm probably a little bit biased, right? But I also understand the fact that, listen, he ain't no Nigel Benn, and he ain't like, you know, he ain't no Iran Barkley, and he ain't no Sugar Ray Leonard, and he ain't no Marvin Hagler. But what he was the best of his era, right? He didn't, you know, he moved up away. You know, look what Bernard Hopkins did after when they fought. You know, Bernard Hopkins was no super middleweight or light heavyweight, or, you know, he was a small guy. But that era we're talking about like elite, like serious elite. We don't have that any. Like Golovkin's probably the most elite fighter we have in the modern day sport. You know, or Lomachenko or Rigondeaux, or, you know, we're now like stretching to find somebody that, you know, like I said to Ingram earlier, but me, Dillian Whyte made Elenius look like fucking Lomachenko. That's fucking disastrous. You know, that's how deprived we are now of serious quality in boxing.
Fucking Deontay Wilder made Spilker look like he was a fucking he was Floyd Mayweather.
Ali.
It's ridiculous.
And you watch the way these fucking motherfuckers are promoted, right? You would think they are Muhammad Ali, right? And they walk around like, I go to some boxing fights and press conferences, and I meet these guys, and I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? And they're crazy. They think they're elite. World's gone mad, man.
All you guys have got to do is just keep. You just got to keep educating. That's what you got to do. So I am a troll because you disagree with me. It's an opinion. You're blind fool. So, Sugar Ray Leonard never had an elite win either. In the 1930s, he never beat anyone of any note.
Wait a minute, Sugar Ray Robinson, you mean? Sugar Ray Robinson in the 1930s, not Sugar Ray Leonard. Who wrote that?
Joseph, he said Sugar Ray Robinson never beat an elite, never had an elite win in the 1930s. He never beat anybody of note in the 1930s.
That is crazy.
Hey, listen, people like that, you know, first thing I do is I ask them, how old are you? Right? And
12.
once
12.
Right. And I get their age, and you know what I tell them? Stop watching YouTube highlights.
And their boxing IQ equates their age too. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I mean,
so listen, you said Sugar Ray Robinson never fight Charles Burley. You got me. He didn't. He didn't want to. Everybody knows that. But to say he never had any elite wins. Oh, okay.
honestly, all my life, I am sat in my hotel room shaking my head like what the fuck?
Dick Turpin. People are talking about Dick Turpin. Here's a guy that I like. Henry Armstrong. That was one of my favourite fighters.
Who?
Henry Armstrong.
Yes. Homicide.
That's my boy. That's my boy, then. That's my boy.
People tuning into your channel now are going, who the fuck's Henry Armstrong? Who the fuck's Randy?
He's an astronaut.
Yeah, exactly, right? They're like, the fuck are they on about?
Henry Armstrong was like what? I think he went from 5'5" to 5'7". He wasn't. He went all the way up to light heavyweight.
Yeah,
as a bad man. I think he held the title 3 different weights at all the same time.
Yeah.
That's you talk about a bad man. But you know what? Sugar Ray Robinson is my favorite because of not just what he did in the ring, it's what he did outside his ring and what he did for his community. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's what inspired me, not just what he did inside the ring. But I was like, go ahead. Yes.
Don't go black on me right now, right?
Okay.
Hey, you're true though, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was all about. You got to remember, right? That fucking era when them people were fighting, like that was fucked up. I was talking about I spoke to somebody earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in my background,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I grew up in a black community in St. Paul's in Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't much longer when I became an adult where if a black person was on a bus and you got on there, they would get out of their seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to go like, what the fuck's he on about? Can you imagine what it must have been like back then as a black fighter?
Of course, historically, of course it was. But you know, the thing, what Sugar Ray Robinson did for his community, he had a town, and he built jobs and opportunities for all the people of his community, and employed every single one of them because there was no jobs around. So he employed jobs for them. That's what made Sugar Ray Robinson a great fighter.
I got a funny story. Chris, are you African American?
No,
it's not.
I'm a white gypsy.
Okay, great. I'm glad because this funny is going to be funny. This story's going to be funny as hell to you. I was watching a fight with my uncle. I was young.
Yeah.
And watching this fight, I was in my teens. I'm trying to do my age. I'm old as fuck. But we watching this fight. This white guy and this black guy fighting. Yeah. And my uncle, I said, yo, who are you rooting for? He said, I'm rooting for the guy from South Africa. I said, all right, cool. So we watched the fight, and the white guy wins. I said, well, your fighter lost. Said, what are you talking about? The white guy's from South Africa. His name is Brian Mitchell.
Yeah. yeah, there we go. Well, yeah.
And from that moment on, that was a very valuable lesson I learned about life in fucking general.
Hey, that's a guy from, where the whole, your creed, color, race, whatever started from, right? And he's white, man. And they're fucking the biggest racist pigs in the fucking world. They fucking introduced slavery and fucking torture. You know what I mean? The world is just when we actually even now when you look back, if you're in your like late 30s, 40s, and you look back and you spent a little bit of time in this world and you think, oh my God, like racism and
well, Chris, I mean, if you could just go back to the 80s when my uncle used to work on BBC Radio and Black Londoners, and I remember in the 80s when the Tories were in power and they were hosing down the black people at the cricket matches. Do you not remember? And they had the dogs on the streets.
Yeah, listen, I've got 3 grandchildren, right, and they're all black.
Yeah,
right. The people think it's acceptable. Like I just don't get how we're all the same, right? We all piss, we all take a shit, we all eat, we all live our life. Like and in modern society and culture, with what we have to deal with on a daily basis, with all the rest of the shit that we have to get up and contemplate on a daily basis. Like, you know, I'm a gypsy guy with 3 black grandchildren. Can you imagine, like, and people tweet me this shit. You know, I grew up predominantly in a black community, right? I grew up in St. Paul's. Well, I love the blues. I love reggae. I love the culture. I love the ting, right?
The ting. The ting.
It's fucking crazy, man. Give me some Bob Marley and a Duber. I'm just gonna sit in the corner, play some dominoes, drink some canai or maybe a can of special brew. I'm gonna be the happiest person in the world.
You're outdoing me at the moment, Chris. You're outdoing me.
Dominoes. He plays dominoes.
Listen, Bo, I gotta get you to England. I'll show you how we roll in this country.
I think, Chris, you're going to be a bad influence on me, I'm sure, but I'm still going to get to meet you anyway.
I used to go to a blues in St. Paul's, right?
Wow.
I would be the only white person in there, and I never felt out of place. Because they respect the fact that I wanted to be in there. I loved their culture. They knew how I felt because I was alienated from my surroundings because of my background. So that's where that's where my connection is.
That's and just to give you and Ingram knows about my background. You know, I grew up African American, but my father's side was Cuban.
Right. Oh my God. So you're like a black Mexican.
Oh man, I grew up not being accepted because some parts of my family felt I wasn't fully black.
Yeah.
My family, I was too dark. I didn't fit the mold of what, like, you know. it was
fucking bad shit right there.
It was nuts, man.
You're not black enough to be black, and you're not fucking tanned enough to be a Mexican.
Yeah, dog. You try growing up, and I'm a kid. Just like, look, I'm just trying to grow the fuck up. Like, God damn. So yeah, but that's what I've always loved about boxing, because boxing brings people together.
Yeah.
You go into a gym, it didn't matter. You could be a girl. You had to know and learn the way they taught you. They taught everybody else the same. God, it didn't matter. You had to prove that you could even belong in this gym. I remember when I started boxing, I didn't hit the heavy bag for the first month. I was doing other shit like running and jumping rope. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you about a guy that suffered with the same thing, and he went to America. Adrian Stone. Can you remember?
Oh yeah, remember him?
Yeah, that name before.
I used to box in the same gym as him, the Empire Club in Bristol, right? I can think of one other guy in there, Glenn Catley, who was a world champion and got robbed off of Richie the
Wenton.
Who?
Richie Wenton.
No, he's a commentator now.
Woodhall.
Richie Woodhall, right? He got robbed in a middleweight or super middleweight fight, right? We were the only 2 white people in that gym. And it was amazing. It was the best time of my life because we were part of the community. We weren't judged the fact that we were white kids who shouldn't be fucking around with black shit, right? We were just treated like part of the camp, part of the team, right? And when Glenn went on and he beat the German kid and he was world champion. Do you know where we went? Back there. We didn't go back to where we came from. We went and shared it with the people that had our back, like when we were trying to become somebody.
Right.
That's what community is all about. This racism, racism is fucked up. Like, you won't know about this, Bo, right? But we had all this whole. Well, you might know about it, right? We had all this Brexit shit, right?
Uh-huh.
And that was racist voting, right? because our community is now like full of people that everybody else thinks shouldn't be allowed to be here. So everybody voted because they thought, oh well, we'll vote out because then maybe the government would take a stand on immigration, right? But we've had that shit. Like, people forget, right? Back in the day in the 60s, Jamaicans came to England, and predominantly in St. Paul's, right? In the 60s, and this is when slave fucking bullshit was meant to be done, right? But all the people that came to St. Paul's from Jamaica on boats came there to do menial tasks, right? And do you know what they did? They built a fucking fence around St. Paul's. Now, St. Paul's in Bristol back in the day was where all the rich people lived. So then they thought, I know what we'll do. We'll just put all the poor black people in there and we'll build a fence around it and we'll alienate ourselves from that community.
Wow.
Right? This is our government. And that is exactly what went on. That's it. That is the truth. Look it up and you will see it, right? And it is scary, right? I preferred living my life in that environment. Right? I want a white man trying to be a black man. You know what I mean? I just love the community. I love the spirit. We used to have St. Paul's Festival, right? If you were in St. Paul's Festival after 12 o'clock and you were a white man, you knew some people. You weren't allowed there, right? Honestly, you weren't even allowed in the street. You know, I spent 20 years living my life in that community. And do you know why I did that? Because that was the only place I felt as a being affected by, and it sounds pathetic, right? I understand totally. I've heard my friends say stuff about black people that makes my blood boil, makes my piss boil, right? But it was the only place I felt that I was accepted.
Right.
And that's as a white person. That is fucking seriously, that is so wrong.
Yeah, you feel I'm like that too. Like I when we go on vacation, I tell my wife, I'm not staying at the resort. She said, why? Because I want you to stay in the resort. I want to get a car and go out. I'm at home in the hood. I'm at home around, you know, the not the poor area, but I'm at home around in town mixing with people. I'm not at home in no goddamn resort where everybody's sticking their pinky finger in the fucking air. I'm not at home in this. I'm not at home in this environment. I'm more afraid of them motherfuckers than I am area over here, you know. I feel you.
I went to, we were in America years ago playing darts, right? And we did a dart tournament in LA. And I was like full of drink, you know what I mean? I was like, I want to go LA, right? They went, oh, you can't go in there, right? It's fucking dangerous. And like, nowadays we have Ingram, I tell you, we have some serious gun crime in this UK now, but not like what you have. Holding a gun in your country is fairly standard. And I said to this cab driver, I said, I met a guy earlier and I want to go to LA. He told me a place where I'm going, this club. And he went, oh, you can't go in there, man. You'll get fucking killed. What is that? He said, well, you're white. I said, what? He went, no, you can't go in there, man. I said, just drop me off, man. Just drop me off. I stayed there all night. I had the best time of my life. Yeah, it was fucking scary, but I tell you what, that was the best night. I was treated like because I was prepared to take that. They respected the fact that I wanted to be there, and that's how the world should be. You don't have no like segregation. The governments make us feel like we have. They're the most racist people in the world because they make us feel like that there's racism when actually, listen, I know a load of white people that I wouldn't go anywhere near.
Yeah.
Right? There's good and bad in all races, right? There's, you know, we can't control that shit. We just got to be good to each other.
That's true. You're right. I got people I know that where I live right now, if I was over from my community, I would not invite people that I know there.
No.
But if I'm going to the bank in the hood, I would take them with me.
Absolutely.
You know?
that hood is a fucking scary place. I'm telling you. I'm sure a little bit of weed came out. That's how scary that place is.
I wonder what people like. What the fuck are these guys talking
Well, that's the thing, right? Well, this is expressing that we're the same as everybody else, right?
Mm.
You know, it ain't about no color, creed, religion, or bullshit. If you're friends and you get on, it's a perfect example, right? We didn't know each other's backgrounds or what our agenda is, right? Sport is meant to bring everybody together.
about?
Absolutely.
And that's why I love it so much, because, and I do have to tell my American friends, listen, the only attraction about fighting in the U.S. is the venues. Because when it comes to fans, we don't have the greatest fans in the sport. That's just like the idea, like, oh, you have to fight in America to make a name. That's bullshit. No, you don't. No, you really don't. I mean, it's just the venues that we have. But you think about, what Anthony Joshua is doing right now. He's making all this money, making a name for himself. Eddie, in my opinion, Eddie Hearns would be making a mistake if he brought him to the U.S. and tried to make a fight here in the U.S. I think that would be a mistake. Keep him in the U.K. and keep building him, because we're talking about him over here. He has.
Yeah, the thing is, in America, you have like I watched that MTV. Fuck me, I'm revealing some shit that I shouldn't reveal, right? You have that MTV thing, right? But you have, listen, I love music, right? What's that thing we have in this country? The fucking Mobos, right?
Yeah, Mobos.
America, right? You have like famous people that sell millions of records. We don't even know who they are. It's so vast, right? They can sell 1 million records in America. In England, they wouldn't even be very big. But the last 20 years, you have like people in England that weren't very big that go to America and they become massive.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like, everybody thinks England's like this really big country, and we're this like tiny little dot on the planet. And I think, and I just think, I love that whole connection. Listen, America and England, we went to war together, right? That we will always have that connection. We fought for the same cause, and there will always be that American England thing, and I love that shit. The same as England, right? England's fucking, the Jamaican thing, but that's the worst thing, right? Because majority of people that came to England were looking for fucking, a way out.
Absolutely. It was in the Caribbean. The islands considered London or England as the Golden Gate Bridge, or like the Wizard of Oz. They said that the roads were paved with gold in the Caribbean. That's why it was the way to live a better way of life. That's what they were told in the 50s and the 60s. So a lot of the grandparents or great grandparents, they came to the UK, and that's how they made their lives. They came as nurses or as doctors, mainly as nurses, doctors, cleaners, and that's the way they made themselves, and they integrated within the UK system.
And the majority of white people now can't wait to go to Jamaica.
Well, that's how it is. That's how it is. They want to come to the islands. It is what it is, guys.
I'm going next year.
Before we I want final thoughts from Bo. Final thoughts from yourself, Chris, on how you feel tonight's been on a whole, the Joshua Takam card, the next week's boxing, and just your whole take on things in under a minute. Let's go. I'll
go first, right? I think it was a fucking disaster. No Dave Allen fight. Frank Buglioni fighting a super middleweight who he had dramas with already doors. I thought Dillian Whyte was fucking awful. And overall, if I wouldn't have paid for it. I think it was a shambles, and it's typical of where boxing has gone now. It's just casuals that think they know about boxing and they love their brand. But I'm not hating on AJ. He's doing what he's doing. That's his job. He's making a load of money. Good luck to him.
Bo?
I think tonight's card was about doing what Eddie Hearn does, which is brand selling his company. The Katie Taylor fight, class that girl, that fight shouldn't have had. The Rumba side fight, that dude, that Rumba, Kanye fight.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Bo. You're breaking up. You're not clear.
Can you hear me?
No, you're talking, and I'm hearing part of you, and then the other part of you I'm not hearing.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, better.
Okay. I think the Kanye fight, the guy that he fought looked like he had on a Halloween Skeletor outfit. The Dillian Whyte fight, come on. And of course, Anthony Joshua. I think the stoppage, I think it could have been saved had the ref not have stopped that fight like that. I think the stoppage just culminated to what was nothing more than Eddie Hearns showcasing his talent, selling his brand and his guys. That's all it was to me.
Okay. Finally, I'm going to say this. If you want to build records, start a record company. And that's what we saw tonight. The whole idea, and they got it right in the beginning of Joshua's fights, the 19 fights, 19 KOs. They asked the question, will Takam be the guy to break that record? He almost did break that record tonight. Like I said, if you want to make records, start a record company. This is boxing, and there's no need for that sort of mentality in boxing. It starts from the top, and at the end of the day, Joshua Takam was the fight that everyone turned out to see. The fight is the event. An event was full of corruption, and at the highest order, if they can pull the plug on the highest order and do what they did tonight, they can do it at the lowest order. So if you're going to continue watching Sly Sports and supporting the Matchroom bandwagon or the Hype Room bandwagon, continue. But, you know, more and more people are going to continue to stream, and less people are going to buy into pay-per-view. So when there's a real, genuine pay-per-view fight in the future, people are not going to care. That's what's going to happen. So, guys, I want to thank Chris Mason, and I want to thank Bo from Truth and Facts Boxing. Bo and Chris, both. First, Chris, tell us where people can get you on Twitter.
Yeah, you can hit me up on Chris 1A Mason or on ITV, which I'm going to be on. Poor old Bo would be like, "What the fuck is ITV?" That's our like main free channel in the UK. I'm on there a lot. I just like to say it was lovely talking to Bo. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Ingram.
Thank you.
We sing from the same hymn sheet. We're like brothers from another. And
Absolutely.
Hey, let's keep the peace, right? No color, no bullshit, no racism. Let's just keep enjoying our boxing. You might not agree with us on what we say. We talk from the hip, we talk from the heart. We're boxing fans, and I love what you're doing, man. And lovely to have Bo on the show. And I hope to talk to you again, mate.
Absolutely. By the way, the person that says you're forced to, nobody forced you for pay-per-view. No, they didn't, because I didn't pay for the pay-per-view. So there you go. Bo, how do people catch you? Bo, are you there? He's not gone, has he?
Oh no, my bad. I didn't realize I hit the mute button.
Okay, Bo.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Let people know where you're at.
You can find me at Truth and Facts About Boxing, or as Ingram likes to refer to it as Truth and Some Facts, because I tend to get fighters' names wrong every now and then.
You butcher their names, or you put S's on their names, but they've not got S's. Kel Brooks and Lee Shelby, and
that's a black thing.
You know, it's not a black thing. It's just a Bo thing, not a black thing. It's black and it's Bo, and it's just Bo. This is a Bo thing.
You can also find me at Twitter at capital T for Truth _ capital F for Fact Box 1. Same thing at Instagram. Also, my man's at the Movement, DAMUVMENT, and it's me and my partner in crime, Bernard Detective B. And man, and you can find me right here with my man Ingram Jones, sometimes Pound for Pound Boxing. But I gotta get Chris's information because I want to follow him, man.
So anything down, just check your Twitter feed, both of you. I've added you both in the link, so don't worry about it. You've both been connected.
Look, me and this guy. People don't realize how far back me and this guy go, but I just want to say, man, Ingram has. What I've always loved about Ingram was he's always been the one guy. When you come on his show, he tells you speak your truth. Don't. So it's no intent. Say what you want to say. You don't know what we're going to say. It's not scripted, and that's what I've always appreciated about the show. It's about the truth. It's about my opinion, how I feel, and it's about the truth. So that's what makes your show special to me, man.
Appreciate that, my friend. I've been criticized a lot for blocking people who are abusive. They'll continue to get their asses blocked. Big shout out to my man, Blood Boxing. I just want to take a little moment to speak out on Blood Boxing because I've seen his channel. He's talking about him being blocked and people, the same snakes that I called out tonight, going behind his back and getting his channel plugged, removed, so he can't do live feeds. Listen, the other day, there's a lot of snakes in the community, particularly in the boxing community, a lot of whiny little bitches. I've got to use that term because that's exactly what they are. You've got to call the snakes for what they are. Let me tell you something, Blood. If you see people in your channel are talking crap on your channel, block them automatically. Don't even give them a second chance. Don't give them a chance to even get into your channel because they snake to slither around and you just wait. And they just wait and wait to do something to pull your channel apart. That's what they're about. They don't care. They're heartless. They've got no souls. And people like that need to be ripped, just pulled and just pull the plug on straight away. Because they get inside, they try to be friendly with you, and then afterwards they try and rip the carpet from under your feet. Carry on doing the work you're doing, brother. You're doing some great work. So I wanted to inspire you with that. Thank you all for watching BWTM Sports. I've had special guest Chris Mason and Bo from Truth and Facts About Boxing. You can catch Chris Mason on ITV. And you can catch Bo on his Truth and Facts Boxing.
Big love, Ingram. Big love, bro. Big love. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll hook up again. I love you both. Great chat. Really enjoyed it.
And as for Mr. Boxing today, keep up the great work, brother. When I want to know about heavyweight boxing, I come to your channel. That's it. I'm out.
Tap on the chest over the heart.
What was that?
Double tap the chest over the heart. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, double tap. That's it. That's it. Hey, yo, bro, Bo. Hey, I'm still standing.
You're right.
Okay, take care, guys. Have a great night.
Nice work, guys. Love it.
Take care. Good night.